go live again. All right, so I'm about to go live again. And it should work this time. What's going on, Kay? All right, so now it should work because last time, unfortunately, the YouTube side couldn't hear me. All right, looked like the all right, cool. Now it's working now. All right, y'all, go ahead and start liking the live and sharing. So I like live and sharing. Unfortunately, the reason why I had to start over is because the YouTube couldn't hear me. So now that we're here now, we should be good, and the YouTube could hear me. All right, now that we're here now, I should be good over on the YouTube side, and hopefully they can hear me now. So y'all go ahead and start liking the live again. Start liking the live and start sharing. Was unfortunate to have to start over because it was going pretty well. We had some guests in the box and everything like that, but unfortunately, sometimes that happens. All right, y'all. So go ahead and start hitting that like. Keep hitting that like. I'm gonna be taking one-on-ones for a while. Of course, I want to bring my panel up once I can. Go ahead and get the panel going. I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the drop-in guest. I'm gonna do that for a little bit just for us to get some guests, and then I will stop the drop-in guests so we can get a panel up. All right, so I do apologize for last time, y'all. We had some sound issues. I am sorry about that. I am sorry that we had some sound issues, but we should be good now. We should be good to go. I think now we're going to be good now with some sound, and we'll be all right. Yeah, I think all right, great. So resist in my YouTube comments is telling me now that we're good now. All right, man. So I do appreciate that. I do apologize. It's unfortunate because we had some guests. All right, it's unfortunate because we did have some guests, but and they were waiting to go, but because of the sound issues that we were having, I had to end the lives and go live again. So hopefully we get some guests again. That is unfortunate. So hopefully we get some guests again. It was unfortunate that we couldn't get it all the way done, but we're gonna get the job done, and we are back. Now I did have something special. Like people on YouTube could have been able to join as a guest. That's what I was doing, but unfortunately, because of the sound issue, I had to end that. So right now, over on YouTube, you're not gonna be able to join as a guest. You could just watch for the moment, but I will drop where if you want to join me as a guest, I'll go ahead and tell you where to come. God, that sounded so terrible. But yeah, I will drop a link on where you can join the conversation and join me as a guest. And it looks like I'm going to be using this for a while until I get my sound mixer and everything like that, and I can also have phone calls and stuff like that. Once I get phone calls, then we'll be in the money. All right, cool. Benjamin, how's it going, Benjamin? Are you at least 18, and can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, I am at least 18, and the good reason to believe in God, or a God, but my God specifically, because he's a good and just God. Have you ever tried a triple bacon cheeseburger with a tall cup of Mountain Dew, bro?
Oh man, that is super unhealthy, man. I'm trying to get fit, man. I've been getting a little belly there, and my doctor been telling me, hey, you got to be careful about that cholesterol intake. So I've been saying, all right, I'll go ahead and take a break from the triple cheeseburgers. You feel me?
But like I said, he's a good and just God. You have options. You can try venison burgers, bison burgers. You can get rid of a lot of the fat. You can cook it with very much less grease. I'm telling you, man, these triple bacon cheeseburgers and a ginormous cup of icy Mountain Dew. That's all I got to say. I'm out of here, bro.
I appreciate you, Benjamin. Oh man, y'all is funny. Y'all is funny. All right, guys. Go ahead and keep liking the live and keep sharing, keep liking the live and keep sharing. I do appreciate everybody being here. So once again, if you would like to join as a guest, we're gonna go ahead and do one-on-ones for a little bit until we can get some people in here. How's it going, Kay? Appreciate you being here, Kay. We're bringing up Sod. Was that? Oh, how's it going?
That was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
But by the way, Benjamin, God. When I'm asking which God, it's not an answer. There are thousands of different gods throughout time, and so
I think he's a friendly. He was just playing with me. But yeah. All right, guys. Go ahead and keep liking. It's unfortunate that last time I had to end it because it's like it sucks. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me answer this person in my TikTok chat. All right, so for the person over in the Deconstruction Junction chat, my TikTok is Volcy Thoughts. I don't have a phone number yet, or actually I have a phone number, but I don't have an audio mixer for me to get phone numbers yet. So once I get the audio mixer, you guys will be able to call in, which will be cool.
If you just see a big black dude with a big shiny head and a Haitian flag, you found him on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
That was actually not shady. That sounded way more shady than I meant to do.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good and well. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and wait for some folks.
Even when I'm not trying to be shady, it comes off as shady. It's so funny because Karma, my sister, she was like, anything, even when you try not to be shady, you sound shady. I'm like, oh.
Give me 1 second.
And then I just heard that. I'm like, ooh, that did sound shady.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
By the way, I did share the live with her, so hopefully her black ass gets in here. Yeah, by the way, we talked about that African guy that was on your panel the last time we were both on together.
Oh yeah.
The one that I'm like that was so self-hating, to be quite honest.
Oh yeah.
That.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, those get annoying, man. And the thing is, that's always my thing with these religions. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to Abrahamic faiths, especially, the way that it was brought to the continent, it gives you so much self-hate. You know what I mean? That's
by the way, I'm like she did her ancestry DNA test, but we have different daddies. So so she said Ghana came up in there. But I think the guy, I was like, I didn't know which. If it was through through our mom's side or through her dad, it's like, oh, it's through our mom. I said, oh, so I'm Ghanaian.
I said, yeah, hello.
Yeah. I hear you, player. All right, so shop player, how's it going? Are you at least 18? Yes. And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, I was going to tell you what I believe.
All right, cool, not a problem. Okay. All right, so you're going to go ahead and talk to me for about 15 minutes, and then Kay will go ahead and join in the conversation. So, all right, shop player, what is that good reason to believe in a God?
All right, let me tell you what I believe.
Are you trolling?
Yeah, he's trolling us. Yeah.
Okay, goodbye.
I think he's trolling us. All right, cool, not a problem.
Yeah,
all right.
I just got rid of him. I'm like y'all, if y'all gonna come up, can y'all be?
Can y'all be for real?
Like. I'm like, Volcy, what is up with you in trolls? Like every single time.
Mm-hmm. It's every single time.
I'm like, I mean, it was not even funny. At least be funny with the trolling. It could have been funny. That's the funny thing. It could have been funny if he actually landed it.
Yeah. As if he landed, it could have been funny. All right, so official roll vids over on my YouTube says, I personally believe in Jesus. I support your right to dislike us Christians, but I think and believe in a perfect him. Yada yada yada. All right, so official vids. I never said anything about disliking anybody, so I'm not sure where you got that from.
I'm like KK. His mom will definitely tell you. Yeah, I don't like Christians.
Yeah,
majority of y'all I don't like. I'm like, he could definitely, I will definitely speak for me. I don't like y'all. Mm-hmm. I I think y'all are repulsive and belligerent and nonsensical. And yeah, I don't like you.
Yeah. Give me a second. All right. So Noli asked me if I believe, and nope, I do not believe. Go ahead and come on up if you like.
We are atheists.
Yeah, we are atheists. All right. So let's see who is coming up now. Hopefully it actually does come up. All right. Paco. Is that Paco or Poco?
Hello.
Sería como poco. It will be
Poco.
like poco.
All right, Poco. How's it going, Poco? Are you at least 18? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So you're gonna talk to me for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then Kay will jump in. All right, so give me that good reason, Poco. What is a good reason for me to believe in a God?
Well, in this case, I would strongly recommend to follow Yahweh. I think you guys know already about the Christian God, Yahweh.
Yeah, what's a good reason to believe in that desert deity?
Well, the best reason that I can think of is that Yahweh is not an, let's say, insensible God. It is actually a God that can definitely understand our situation and does his best to lead us to the right path.
Okay, cool. So if he's a sensible God, then he should go ahead and just show himself to everybody sensibly, right? Why do it through
let's
through some Palestinian guy
this way.
2,000 years ago?
Let's put it this way. If God showed in front of you right now what actually would cause in you.
What do you mean? That's not sensible to do.
No, it is actually reasonable, because one thing that is important to follow Yahweh is to actually follow him by heart. What I mean by this is that our actions matter in front of God, because it is not like he's present all the time. Imagine like your father. I hope that you have a good relationship with your father. I am just using this like an example.
Yeah. I talked to my dad the other day.
It is like an analogy. A good father takes care of the children, and then they teaches the children, guides the children. But when the children becomes adults, the children are supposed to follow the teachings of the father, whether or not they see the father.
All right, Poco.
So
Poco,
along those lines.
All right, so Poco, none of that made sense. What I asked you for is that if God is a sensible God, then he can show himself to us sensibly. And he said for that to happen, it has to cost something within me. That makes no sense at
Correct.
all.
You know what?
If I want to
speak really quick? I'm sorry.
No, not yet. Not yet.
I'm like, Jamie, not yet. I'm like, give him. He has the timers on.
Right.
Okay.
I promise we'll get to you.
So when you said for God to show himself to us sensibly, it has to cost something within us. That doesn't make any sense to me, because it's like, for me, hold on. For me to go meet you, right? It might cost me some money, but it's not gonna cost you anything for me to go see you. You know what I mean? You may have to, pay for my lunch or something like that, but it's not gonna cost something within you. You know what I mean? Like, nothing within you is gonna cost. I just go meet you in New York City or something like that, right? So how come God can't do it the same thing to everybody? He's all powerful. He just show up to everybody at the same time. Why not?
You can come off of mute now.
Yeah, you can come off mute now. Poco, you can come off mute now. Come off mute, Poco.
Can you send him an invite to come off mute?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. All right, Poco, if you can hear us, you're on mute, so please get off mute.
Poco, if you don't come off of mute, I might have to drop you.
Hello?
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
All right, great. So, yeah, does that make sense what I just said?
Yes, sir. But I think I failed, and I have to apologize. I failed to explain myself. What I mean is, for example, do you need your father to be present at all times for you to know how to conduct yourself?
No, of course not.
And that is exactly the same. for example, what I have understood.
But Poco, what I'm saying is that Poco, hold on. Let me just say how this analogy is bad. This analogy is bad because I grew up with my dad. Like, I know he exists. He's right freaking there, right? And even if I didn't grow up with him, I know about reproduction, right? Like, people don't reproduce through osmosis. So I know there had to be another male involved for me to be born. So obviously my biological father is somewhere around there, right? So it's not the same thing with God.
Human women do not have parthenogenesis currently, so they can't reproduce by themselves. And if they could, and if women could reproduce by herself, Volcy wouldn't be a man. So there's that. The fact that he has a male phenotype shows you that he has a father, because only fathers. Okay, I'm not trying to give a biology lesson.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yes.
But right, so like you get me, Poco. Like this is not the same analogy as a God, because as what you're saying that God is, because like we've never actually seen
the same analogy,
right? But Poco, no one has ever physically met God. Like, we've never done that.
Not even the people in your Bible.
The reason that I say that this analogy fits is because I am not saying that, for example, God is treating every single person the same. It is treating humanity as a whole. So put humanity, like the whole history of humanity is the history of a single person. And if God is the father of that person, then the analogy fits. God has been there since the beginning of our history.
Right, but like, right. But who has actually physically met him? Like, can you tell me someone who's actually physically met a God?
And what I mean by this is that you
answer the question directly.
Okay, you gotta answer the question directly. Can you
evidence then?
Yes, I am looking for evidence. Right. Why should I not have? Because evidence is a good reason, right?
The Holy Spirit is evidence.
Hold on, Jamie. Not your turn. It's not your turn yet.
It's not.
Hold on, it's not your turn yet.
So your turn yet, and no, it's not. And we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So Jamie, I said Jamie. I'm sorry. So Poco, yeah. I wouldn't need evidence because evidence would be a good reason, right? Like, you just saying that, you know, God exists is not really a good reason, because I can tell you I have $50 million in Bahamas. You're not gonna believe me just because I said so.
The reason that works for me, though, in terms of evidence, is the way humanity changed after the appearing of Jesus. That is the only way that I can.
How did humanity change?
How does humanity change after the returning of Jesus? Give a actual credible,
like data point.
Give us evidence, that credible evidence that humanity changed after the alleged coming of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like what exactly changed? Because it seems like we all still the same, to tell you the truth.
Well, what changes is let's say the moral drive of humanity.
You're saying that
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're saying that
they didn't have morals before
Jesus came?
Before Jesus came, let's say that our moral standards were very low.
Are you sure about that?
And are you sure?
They were.
All right. So how do you explain all of civilization? Because obviously there were civilizations before Jesus, right? And they all lived together and they were fine. I
understand that. But what I mean is,
right. So
because of Jesus.
Okay, go ahead.
Because of Jesus, we were able to let's say to try to become a better society, and Jesus become like these standards that we should aim to from his appearing to modern times. In modern times, I would agree with you.
All right, so Poco,
that the image of Jesus looks less appealing.
I got you. So Poco, here's the problem. Poco, hold on. Here's the problem. You're making a claim that has absolutely no evidence and is completely ahistorical. We had functioning hold on, listen. We had functioning societies and moral societies before, during, and after Jesus. So saying that the moral drive of humanity became better after Jesus appeared is 100% ahistorical. How do you explain, like, for example, after Jesus came, right? What happened after Jesus came? We had the biggest disruptor of human society has ever existed, which is the Atlantic slave trade and the colonization of Africa. That happened after Jesus came. So when you said that the moral driver of humanity became better,
later.
exactly. When you said the moral fabric of society changed after Jesus came, you cannot make that claim when literally we had one of the biggest tragedies of humankind to happen centuries after he came. So how can you make that claim?
What I mean by this is that history without Jesus would have been even worse.
How do you know that?
There's no evidence. There's no evidence for that.
My evidence for this is because we as humanity, we have also experienced individuals who have driven humanity to commit atrocious tragedies, but not following the principles taught by Jesus.
I disagree. In fact, and I'm glad you admit that there have been a lot of tragedies throughout human history, and a lot of those were in the name of your Jesus.
No.
Specifically, and especially, no. I'm not gonna let you get around that because that is a historical fact.
I wish to steal man.
Hold on, that is a historical fact, sir. It is a fact that wars, whole civilizations have been destroyed in the name of your God. That absolutely is a fact.
That is a fact.
Especially, hold on. So Poco, especially
have you ever heard of the Spanish Inquisition? That is one of many examples.
Exactly. So all right. So Poco, people were burned at the cross before not converting to Jesus, especially in India. When the British Empire started to colonize India, they would burn Hindus and throw them in hot boiling oils for not converting to Jesus. So it is a fact that civilizations and people were crushed and destroyed in the name of Jesus. Now you can say they were not following the directives. They were not actually properly following the directive. That's fine. I don't have any issue with that argument.
But the fact of the matter is they were because even in the Bible, wars have been fought over God all throughout the Bible. So I don't want to hear that either. I don't want to hear not all Christians. I don't want to hear because I don't want to hear the cop-outs. The reality is, since your religion has come into existence, the world has been in nonstop chaos. That is a fact.
Right. And I was gonna say, you can say that they were not. I got you, Poco. Right. I got you, Poco. So you can say that they weren't following it directly, right? They weren't following it properly, etc. Now you can say that, but they can also say that they were following it properly because of these things, and that they also find the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So that means that when it comes to religion, you can pick and choose whatever you like to do horrible, atrocious things, which means that religion is not a good guide for us to be moral. So the claim that the trajectory of society changed after Jesus to become more moral is false, because you can still use that. You can still use religion to do horrible things. Even Jesus' words you can use to do horrible things.
I understand
and have done horrible things.
When it comes to religious fanaticism, I understand that is something that is closely tied to religion. I am not denying its existence.
Okay.
But what I am saying is that we do have guidelines, specific guidelines that you and I can objectively evaluate to determine if someone is following the teachings of Jesus or not.
Okay.
In the absence of the guidelines, I will definitely agree and say, hey, you're right. But
I don't care if there's, but here's the thing. I don't want it's a cop out to me.
I am going to put an example. It is like Albert Einstein, who designed the famous equations for energy, depending on the amount of mass existing. The same equation was used to create the atomic bomb. But that doesn't mean that Einstein is to be blamed for the killing or the misuse of the knowledge he provided. That would be definitely non-ethical to do. Won't you agree?
Yeah, sure. You can you can say that. You can say that Einstein figured something out and then people used it for doing things wrong. Sure. Like I don't deny that, right? Which is why yeah, exactly. So but that's exactly what I was saying before. Yeah, sure. You can say that hey, they weren't following it properly. That's all good and well, but the problem with religion is, like I said before, it's all up to interpretation. You can say that they weren't following it properly and they can say that they were. Which one of you is right?
I'm like,
No.
which.
The thing is
that's
that
the thing
even
about. Hold on,
if
because I'm
even
gonna
if you
expand
say
upon that
that is
point.
a different interpretation.
Hold on. I just want to get this out, right? Because we're not just going to ignore that Christians don't even agree on the interpretation of their book. That is why there are thousands of different denominations throughout Christianity, because y'all do not agree on the interpretation of what Jesus or whatever in your holy book. Y'all cannot agree on that. So therefore, you're not going to tell me that you're not going to separate the Christians from the religion. That is what I don't like, because that's a cop-out. The reality is horrific things have happened in the name of your religion and are currently still happening. For example, right, and this is just one of the recent examples, women's rights to having reproductive rights, that was not scientific. That was not medical. Right, them overturning Roe v. Wade. That was not a medical opinion. That was a religious opinion. That was Christianity.
Why did Jimmy leave?
So I don't like that y'all separate the religion from. I'm like, even in the past 20 years, the fact that y'all have, there are conversion therapy camps where y'all literally torture youth and children who you may think are gay. That is absolutely your religion, and I don't want you. And I'm not going to allow y'all to like get around that fact. Your religion has been horrendous.
Right. So, Poco, like here's the difference between Einstein and the Bible, right? Because when it comes to the words of Jesus, the Bible, etc., that's completely up to interpretation. When it comes to Einstein, the only thing he did was figure something out about energy. That's all he did. Now, people can take that knowledge and do good things with it, or they can do horrible things with it. We both agree there. But when it comes to religion, there's no really, there's no really guideline.
But they
there.
also aren't trying to justify them doing horrible things in the name of Einstein.
Exactly, and that's the other thing.
There's not a religious component to it, because in America, people think they are exempt from criticism or any accountability because they say in the name of God.
Right, and that's bullshit. Right, and that's the other thing. Einstein actually knew what could happen with this knowledge, and he warned them against it. He explicitly says, "Do not do this." Oppenheimer as well. Oppenheimer explicitly said, "Do not do this." You know what I'm saying? So it's like they knew what could happen, and they said not do it. But that didn't come up with when it comes to Yahweh. Yahweh gave rules in order how to enslave people, and then Jesus came and he didn't say anything about it. He could have easily said, hey, this time here, my father gave y'all instructions, but y'all don't do that shit no more. I'm like, Cracker Jack in the comments, there being commandments is irrelevant because, like Volcy said, the Bible is up to interpretation. Yeah, exactly. Which is all right. So, Poco, do you have I'll poke. Yeah, go ahead, Poco. Do you have anything else, or are we almost done? Do you know how to come off of mute, Poco? He may not. And Jamie left. I don't know what happened to Jamie. She was so excited to speak, but she left. I guess she knew what time it was, honey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not gonna let her preach. I think she wants to preach, and we were not gonna let her do that. Poco, do you know how to get off mute? Poco, write in the chat if you could come off mute. Say yes or no. All right, Poco. Because I want to know. Yeah, because I'm not gonna waste time. All right, Echo, how's it going, Echo? Are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
I am 27. Pulling it up now just because it's the easiest way to explain these things up now. I don't believe in a Catholic God. I'm what you call an omnist. An omnist is someone who believes in all religions, holds some truth or divine origin, seeing them as different paths to a greater understanding, rather than being one exclusively correct.
All right, Alex, how's it going, Alex? Are you at least 18? And can you give me a good
we've
reason?
been there, done that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Are you at least 18? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
I'm 45, and I believe once you put your faith in Christ, you go to heaven.
All right, sure. Can you show me that
you're
a heaven?
Christian.
You're a Christian, yeah. So can you show me that a heaven exists, and can you show me that Jesus was a God that came to save humanity?
Without the Bible is a claim, not evidence.
Sure. Okay. For me, I got baptized as an adult. No real significant change. But one night I was driving in my car and I said to God, you know what, if you're real, show me. This world's garbage. You got all these churches.
All right. So Alex, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
we're not trying to listen to your testimony.
For personal testimony. Yeah, we don't care about that.
I thought you said don't use my Bible, don't use my testimony. Then what else is there?
Really? We want empirical evidence. That is what we're asking for.
Yeah, either
you're talking like historical or like.
No, yeah, it's historical. Like we know, I could accept that Jesus was a guy that existed, right? But how can we historically prove that he walked on water, healed the blind, and then flew to the sky like Superman? How can we do that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been going to Bible studies, listening to people's testimonies. It's encouraging. I guess, like, there's no way.
And I understand that we in Volcy were former Christians, so we know how Christianity works. However. We're not using testimonies as evidence today.
I mean, and here's the reason. I want to be fair. I want to give you the reason why we don't really go off personal testimony, because yeah, exactly. Because if you for real, if like for example, a Hindu person can give you a personal testimony of how they met Lord Krishna, right? Are you going to convert to Hinduism because they have that testimony?
No, but I'd listen because I'd be like, wow, maybe there's something I'm missing here, or maybe there is different ways to God. And again, but knocking anybody's way.
But I got you. But just think about what that implies. Their testimony isn't good enough for you to believe them. So why should your testimony be enough for me to believe you?
Oh, I don't.
But here's also the thing: we can't verify testimonies either. So
I take people at their word. So even that.
I think.
I listen to
because anyone can say anything, so I don't take people specifically when it comes to this topic.
That's okay.
Especially because anyone can say anything.
That's all right. Yeah, if you're talking about like historical evidence, I probably wouldn't be able to convince you anyways. So yeah, I do believe if you put your faith in Jesus, you're going to heaven. And I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Right, I understand that, right? But like the thing is, we actually have to show that Jesus even had powers to even do that first. And how do we do that?
We need evidence for a Jesus being the Son of God first.
I think it is. I think for everybody, it is like a faith thing, and there is things you have to do in there, like cry out to God, you'll be saved, and put your faith in Jesus, and get baptized as an adult. That's what really seemed to unlock doors for me. But again, you don't care about the personal experiences.
Right. So yeah. The reason why we don't.
Volcy, I'm like, well, I was baptized, and I'm sure Volcy was too. That
I was too as well.
We both have been.
Right. So
I grew up. In fact, I was a Baptist and I was a Christian, so I did get baptized. Like that.
Weren't there plenty of witnesses that?
Yeah, and I was a Pentecostal. Hey, Deez, it's not your turn, Deez. We're talking to Alex first. All right, so Alex, like for example, I get that, right? You see personal testimony and everything like that, but again, the personal testimony from any other religion is not going to convince you to convert to theirs, right? So it's like that. We're holding the same standard to you. Like if theirs is not a good reason, why do you think yours is a good reason to believe in yours?
That's not.
Also, Ariel wants to ask Alex a question.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Ariel. Go ahead. Yeah, Alex, go ahead and answer that person.
Yeah, y'all go first.
All right, cool. Sure. So, Alex, go ahead and answer that, and then Ariel will ask her a question. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, where is she asking? You lost me. What was the question?
Okay. Let me repeat what I was saying first. So who dropped? Okay, yeah. So what I was saying, Alex, is that the issue with the personal testimony thing and everything like that is that the personal testimony of someone else's religion wouldn't be good enough for you to change your faith. So your personal testimony, you're already implying that personal testimony isn't even good enough for you. You just have one for your personal thing. right? So even according,
that's not necessarily true. Like I'm open to listening, and again, if their story is more powerful than my story, I definitely want to hear it and get to know them and see if they're truthful. Like I'm seeking truth just like anybody else. I like the movie Malcolm X. I don't know if you saw that with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie.
Where he was just
my favorite movie.
Great,
but will you convert to Islam because of Malcolm X?
If God actually came to me and said this is the right way, and then I had nothing to dispute it, but it's been the opposite. It's God's shown me Christianity so far through my life is the way.
All right. So, how about Haitian voodoo? Why isn't Haitian voodoo the right way?
Well, again, until for me, the world was very logical for 23 years. And after 23 years, it became a spiritual world where God's speaking to me audibly and showing me things. And
so God actually
how do you
speaks
know
to
it's
you?
God speaking to you?
Pardon? Oh, that interests you, eh? Yeah.
Right. How do you know that it's a God that's speaking to you? How do you know it's the God of Christian?
First of all, how do you know it's a God speaking to you, and then let alone the Christian God?
Good question. Because once I cried out to God, it wasn't that same day, but 2 weeks later, all I can describe it as was liquid love going through my body. The words "I am the light" coming out of my mouth. My hands unfolded at the steering wheel and went through the rest of my body. I said, "Thank you, Father," a bunch of times. And after that, I've never doubted God. To me, that was the Holy Spirit.
Okay, so
scales come off my eyes like Paul.
Okay, great.
On and on, man.
Okay, so great. So you had a delusion, and now Christianity.
Well, I guess Paul had a delusion too. I guess Moses, all these people from the Bible, or it's actually really happening still.
Yes, yeah, and Moses didn't exist, so
debatable, but.
That's not debatable. Jewish scholars actually agree he didn't exist.
Just so you know, none of the authors of the Bible that claim to have met Jesus have. Well, first of all, none of the authors of the Bible that talk about Jesus have met him. None of them actually met him.
One thing I like to show non-believers: 2 videos. Akiana, age 12, paints the heavens, or man unalives in plane crash finds Jesus. Those two videos, like that girl, like there's geniuses who know Jesus is real, man. There's people with higher intelligence than me and you. And
there are people with higher intelligence than me and you that don't believe. So I'm pretty sure Richard Dawkins is smarter than me.
IQ right now, the guy with the highest IQ in the whole world,
that's a scam.
Believes in Jesus.
That's a scam.
Okay, that's what I heard recently.
No, I know you heard. I know you heard. I heard it too. It's a scam.
Okay.
Because let me ask you, what test did he take?
I don't know. Everything's debatable.
Hold on, Alex. Hold on. Because this is the problem, right? When I was in Christianity, I had the same issue where I just heard something that kind of confirmed my faith and never looked into it again. This person that said he has the highest IQ, who has it been verified by?
Again, you're speaking to somebody who's living these
right, Alex. Hold on, Alex. I just need you to answer this question. Who was that verified by? Hold on, Alex, listen. Who was it verified by?
I was just listening to Charlie Kirk say that on a podcast recently.
Great. Okay, but
Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk? Was your reason?
Yeah, Charlie Kirk was a liar and a racist. Yeah, I know he's a liar and a racist.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I never met Charlie Kirk. I'm very not quick to jump on the band.
He's on camera saying a lot of racist and nonsensical shit.
But again, right. So
I'm very quick to not jump
I got you. I know you don't want to judge him, but this is the guy that said that black people were better off before civil rights.
Well, again, when I was younger and people were executing Michael Jackson as all kinds of things, as I got older, I realized maybe I shouldn't jump on those bandwagons of pretending I know people I've never met.
Alex, hold on, Alex, don't just react to what I said, right? Actually listen and take it in. Charlie Kirk said that black people were better off before the civil rights movement. Meaning the time where we were under Jim Crow and oppressed and segregated.
Not just said that. He said that it was a mistake to give black people
civil rights. He said both things. He said, number one, we were better off before, and number two, it was a mistake. If a white person would have
not just that. I said not just that because I know he said it, but I wanted to add on to it because he did say that as well.
He said it was a mistake.
I'm like Also, he said that the unaliving of children was a consequential consequence of having Second Amendment. I'm like, oh, wow, which is ironic that he got unalived at a school, and he was against gun reform for school to protect children. But that's a whole
other thing.
But the irony has not been lost on
right.
On
but Alex, just to wrap everything up, right? You heard that the smartest person in the world believes in Jesus. Number one, this person who's claiming he's the smartest guy in the world is never been verified by anybody. He's just claiming it, right? That's number one. But number two, it came from a guy that says that black people were better off before civil rights. Before civil rights, before we had the right to vote, before we had the right to go where we want, before I had the right to even sit down with you and have this conversation, or otherwise I would get lynched because I disagree with you. That time was better for us. Like, think about that. You see the issue there, right, Alex? So why would you trust a person who says that? Like, there's a problem there, don't you think?
Okay, Alex, you can come off of mute.
Again, well, I don't make stuff up, man. So either I'm delusional or I have heard the Holy Spirit audibly twice, had scales come off my eyes, been healed by Jesus once supernaturally. And I mean, I'm not here to make stuff up. I'm here to just share truth.
Like, Jesus healed you supernaturally? Okay, so if Jesus healed you supernaturally, how come he's not healing the kids in St. Jude's Hospital that have brain cancer supernaturally?
It's a great question, and I don't have your answer. However, I know that God uses people to heal people and help people. I knew this. So
how come he doesn't use them to heal the kids in St. Jude's Hospital?
So he can't do it himself?
I'd like to finish.
That sounds like an all-powerful God to me.
I know a couple of a family who they were praying to God. Why don't you help these people? Send people to help them. And God said to them, "That's why I have you."
This is just more personal testimony. I honestly would like you to address the Charlie Kirk thing.
Pardon?
Oh yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't he the one that said, "I take people at their word"?
Mm-hmm.
He did. So why actually, since he takes people at their word, let me go get the clip to play. Yeah. Since he wants to take people at their word, honey, let's take
yeah,
people
but
at Charlie
we also
Kirk's
know the
word.
media can skew things. If anything I've seen with the government in the last 2 or 3 years,
you can watch the full video, Alex. Doesn't have anything to do with the media.
Completely lied.
You can watch the full
AI
video.
now.
It came out of his mouth. So wait.
Whoa.
So now you're gonna do if it was bad, it was AI, but if it was good, he really said it.
Well, I was just going off of one thing I heard, right? And he was saying the smartest, most intelligent person believes in Jesus. That's it. You guys
right. And you took him at his word, right? And it was a lie. So why aren't you taking when he said what he said about the civil rights and the DEI and put all the racist things he said? Why didn't you take him at his word with that?
Maybe he did. I don't know.
So you didn't really actually watch Charlie Kirk then?
I'm not trying to say Charlie Kirk's holy or something like that. I'm just saying those are the things he said. This is a guy. I did.
No, we're telling you things that came out of his mouth. We're telling you, and I'm about to play it for you.
Okay, but
that's one thing about me. I'm gonna bring the receipt.
This is just kind of going off.
Hold on, Alex. What I was trying to let you know is that number one, this entire thing about this person with the highest IQ in the world believing in Jesus has number one never been verified. That dude's a scammer. He's never actually shown his test. He's actually never shown anyone who verified it. And the second thing is that
when it was asked of you where you got this information from, you said Charlie
Kirk. And I'm telling you that Charlie Kirk is probably one of the worst sources because he was wrong about several things and he was a racist. So that's what I'm trying to say. And then when you ask me,
and even if that proves you're right, what I've been living the last 23 to 45 years is just straight up.
No one can verify what you've been living for the past 23 to 24.
So what you've been living for the past 25 years is all good and well, right? We all have those type of psychological things about us because a person who's Muslim can also tell you that they've been living for the past 50, 60 years doing the things in Islam. But again, their testimony is not going to make you convert. So it's like I said before, testimony is not really a good reason for anybody to believe in anything, because I can give you a personal testimony about Haitian voodoo. You're not going to convert to Haitian voodoo.
Probably not. However, the things I've seen have led me to Christianity, and I do try to love people more and try to, I don't
Can I
know, go out
ask
of
you
my
a
way to be a
question
little kinder. Yeah.
about the first thing you were talking about? Because didn't you say that you believe if you have faith in Jesus, you go to heaven?
Yes.
So you're going to be in heaven with a bunch of rapists and murderers and people that do east side. That's what you want to go do?
I don't think God is like humans, man. I think God loves everybody, right?
Oh,
What did that
really?
question have to do with
Just wait,
God?
let me finish.
To explain the story of Noah.
So again, I think
Explain
that. I think that God isn't like humans and loves everybody, right? And
right, but that wasn't my question.
You can keep speaking over me if you want.
Alex, I'm trying to stop you from answering something that I didn't ask.
Hold on, Alex.
That wasn't my question.
Hold on, Ariel. I can speak and I can interject because I'm a mod, right? So I can do that because of that. I have a thing called mod powers, just like I showed you with muting that mic. So again, I'm going to ask you, if God is not like humans and is all loving, all knowing God, then I want you to explain the story of Noah.
Yeah.
If he's all loving,
why?
And then he regretted that decision because he also made the Ark of the Covenant after the flooding.
Right.
Why would an
Alex,
all-knowing being?
Hey, hold on. So we need Alex to answer a question. So Alex, the reason why you keep getting interrupted, and I do apologize for that, is because you're not actually answering the question directly. All right. So we actually need you to answer the question directly. Right. So Ariel asks you a direct question, and then you went on to something else. Oh, I believe that Jesus is God is love. What she asked you is that up in heaven, there are going to be people who committed rape, people who committed murder, people who committed mass serial murder, like what's that guy named Jeffrey Dahmer? Apparently, according to Christian theology, he's up in heaven too. So what Ariel asks you is, are you going to be comfortable in heaven with these people who committed these horrible, horrific acts? While for someone like myself, who's never committed a horrific act and only is dedicating my life to helping low-income people with their mental health issues, I'm going to be burning forever. Like, do you see like the cognitive dissonance there? Like, would you be comfortable living in heaven with a murderer who unalived 13 people versus me, who's going to be burning forever? Like, is that comfortable for you?
I like what you're saying, right? And after the 45 years of being alive, again, Paul, who is Saul in Damascus in the Bible, was a murderer, right? Or
Alex, can you please just answer the question? You keep talking about everybody else.
There'll be no sin in heaven. Yes, I'll be comfortable. There's no sin in heaven. So people won't be doing horrible things.
It's not about there being sin in heaven. The reason I asked you that question is because you made it sound like the only requirement is to have faith in Jesus, right? So if I go out and do all these horrific things, and then when I've been alive for 45 years, like you keep pointing out, if at that point I decide to turn to Jesus, doesn't matter what I did before that. Now I'm going to be in heaven with hold on. I'm going to be in heaven right along with y'all who spent your whole life following the laws, trying to be good, trying to love people, blah, 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 all the good shit y'all say Christians do. So honestly,
there's a parable
by your own standard, you don't have to do none of that shit. You can live a fuck life and then turn around and put your faith in Jesus and go to heaven with the rest of y'all.
I know it's not like human. It's not like he's human, right? It's crazy.
What does that have to do with him?
He loves everybody.
I'm not asking about the God. I'm not asking about God. I'm asking if you're okay with the fact, like if you go to a school, right, and the principal tells you you need to follow all of these rules, you need to do this, you got to pass this test, you got to do all of this shit, and then there's some other students, they don't do none of that shit. They tear the school up. They probably unalive the principal and shit and all that. And then they still get to graduate with the same honors as you. That's what I'm asking you. It's not about the God. I'm asking about you. I'm not asking you about God, Alex. I'm asking about you.
Oh, me?
I don't know how. I repeat it multiple times that I'm asking about you.
I can be a horrible person.
Right. You're missing, Alex. You're skating all over the place. That's not what I asked you. Please slow down and pay attention.
No, I'm not all right with this world.
Well, why not?
That's why I cried out to the God, because I
wasn't
all right with it.
Alex, now you're pissing me off because I think you're missing.
You're asking me.
Right. If you slow down and listen to the question one more time, we'll try one more time, okay? Because I don't want to get upset, but like I don't know what you're answering right now, but it's not the question I asked you. Why are you okay with a God that would accept people who do horrible things like that, and all they have to do is turn around and be like, just kidding, my faith is in Jesus, and then they get to go to heaven with you? You're going to be up in heaven with people that harm children, people that commit G-side, people that unalive people. Like, that's who you want to go to heaven with?
I didn't create this world. I didn't make the rules. I'm not okay with it.
So just say yes or no. Why do you keep your
no?
Yes or
I'm
no?
not okay with
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and move on because that's getting us nowhere. All right, so we're gonna move on to.
I'm like, hold on. I want to get this out, right? Because I'm sure he's not the only one. So let's go down the list of Charlie Kirk's racism, right? Because I haven't gotten over that. All right, so let me play some clips for the live.
Sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm gonna be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. When blacks in America
talking about DEI. Okay, hold on.
Not have the same rights they had today. They were less murderous. There was less break-ins. Why is that? And the data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil.
When black people were being strange fruited in America, black people were better off before the 1960s. He's literally about to say, hold on.
What happens? A certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh, wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder. Yeah,
burn. I'm like talking about BLM. Like, he's not racist.
One of the biggest. Earn it, just so we're clear.
Can we also acknowledge, due to the laws under Jim Crow, that black people were significantly hindered from economic advancement?
This is a really important question.
And that was a fact. Along with redlining and all the other policies that happened after.
Black Americans are poorer today in 2024 than they were in the 1950s. The disappearance of the black father.
Talking about the missing black father, as if that has anything to do. She's talking to a black woman, but you need to talk to these black American men abandoning their children. But that's a whole other conversation. Like, that has nothing to do with black women. I don't know why you're talking to black women about that.
Has been the number one driver of black poverty in this country. At least agree that
starting in the 1980s and continuing onward, there's been a war on drugs. Is this correct?
I like the war on drugs. Blacks commit more crimes.
He likes the war on drugs. I'm like the government policy that where it has been admitted that they put drugs inside the black community, and black people got Okay. He likes those policies, those racist policies from the 80s. Okay.
They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. That's not a war on drugs. That's a culture problem. Why are
it's a prime white supremacist talking point. Prime. But y'all want to sit here and say that Charlie Kirk was not racist and he was and he was just this outstanding Christian man, and you gonna sit here and tell me that you got your information about someone with the highest IQ believing in Jesus, and you got it from Charlie fucking Kirk.
Yeah. Please. And what's crazy about that is that, like, he was actually incorrect about the arson and the kidnapping rates. Those are all led by white men.
Those are all white people, by the way.
Yeah,
that have the highest rates of those.
Yeah, well, white men are about, I think, 25-30% of our population, but commit 75% of the arsons, over 80% of the kidnappings, over 90%, over 80% of the child pee production and consumption are white men, and they're like what, 20% of the population? Come on, y'all. Like, it's crazy how he says that we're the worst group off, and they're doing all this. Insane. All right.
And he gonna say it. So I just want everyone for the show, if you come up here and you say you got your information like you did from this man, like y'all, I'm gonna drop you immediately.
All right. So Deborah, how's it going, Deborah? Are you at least 18? And can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Hi everyone. I'm 69. So
can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
I can only share my experience.
Okay.
Is that not acceptable?
Yeah, sure. You can give us you can tell us your experience and your personal testimony. However, I'm going to ask you this: if someone else were to give you a personal testimony of another religion, would that be a good reason for you to believe in their religion?
I don't go by religion. I'm a spiritual being. I don't religion. I don't do religion.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Is Jesus your Lord and personal Savior?
No.
Okay, cool.
He didn't exist.
All right, great. So, so which God do you believe in?
The one inside of me.
So, no God at all?
There is a God that puts substance inside of me that attaches me to it. And I call it the cosmos.
All right, so your God is Jupiter.
No, my God is not Jupiter.
Okay, it's the sun then?
I came through the sun.
Oh, Spinoza's God. Okay, cool. Spinoza's
That's
God.
not Jupiter.
Okay, cool. You believe in Spinoza's God. All good and well. Thank you so much. All right. Memo, how's it going, Memo? Are you at least 18? And can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Okay. Yeah, I'm over 18. And I think I have a pretty good reason.
All right. What is that reason?
Have you heard of Hume, David Hume?
Yes. What about him?
Yes. You've heard of his problem of induction?
I'm not too familiar with it, but the thing is, like, if you're gonna go into a philosophical argument, like, philosophy is not really a good reason to believe in a God, bro.
Why do you make that presumption?
You can philosophize anything.
Could you explain further? If I can philosophize anything, I can think about anything. That doesn't necessarily make a false.
Right, but what I'm saying is that if you can come up with any type of philosophical argument for anything, right? What's going to be needed for us to know that it's actually true is some actual evidence.
Okay. So here's so what you're saying is so what do you believe truth comes from? Do you think there's a priori truth before experience, or do you think there's only truth after experience?
We're not gonna do the Phil bro thing, bro. What I'm going to
we're not doing it. I'm just gonna drop you.
Yeah, we're not gonna do Phil bro stuff.
No. Well, I have a pretty good argument, but you guys
okay, an argument is not evidence of a God.
So you just want an empirical evidence of God?
Yeah, sure. Because we need some empirical evidence, a good reason, and I think evidence for most things is a reason.
Can I argue there is knowledge that isn't strictly of evidence? Then maybe you could accept an argument, or are you just gonna say you're strict empiricist? There's nothing else.
Empirical evidence is the standard in this space. Do you have
so like the idea of math? I believe math can be known before experience, and I think that's pretty well respected knowledge.
How can you know math? Hold on, wait, stop. How can you know math before you experience it?
Yeah, so this is a common epistemic distinguishment.
Okay. So let me ask this question, Memo. You said that there are knowledge.
You have to go to school to learn math.
To learn math, exactly. So are you saying that when I was a 1 month old, not 1 month, well, not 1 month. Let's say I was 8 months in my mom's stomach. I knew what math was.
Innate to you. I don't think that's
okay.
What we're saying.
So how can you have knowledge of math before you experience what math is?
You could be taught through experience, but you could know it before experience. Like I don't necessarily.
How do you know what math is before you experience it?
Okay, I'll give you an example. A better, more analytic example. This is called like an analytic truth. Before experience, I could say bachelors are unmarried. That's an analytic truth. That's true, right? But I don't need to go out in the world and experiment on all the bachelors and say, "Hey, are you unmarried?"
Of course, no. because the definition, because by definition, bachelors are unmarried. That's how we defined it.
So that's a priori truth.
No, it's not.
Understand the distinction? Yeah,
no, it's not. It's not. But the thing is, we defined bachelors as being unmarried. It's not really a priori truth because it's not really a priori truth because we're just using the definition of the word.
Yeah,
if you never,
the same way.
When I was 5 years old, I didn't know what the word bachelor was.
So do you think math is created? Like
yeah, we invent math.
Or have you heard of Gödel's incompleteness theorem?
We invent math, bro.
Have you heard of Gödel's incompleteness theorem that says any formal system does not have like
my guy. How does this get us to a?
No.
Okay, cool. No problem. All right.
No,
not a problem.
No, I told you I was not gonna tolerate that Phil Pro shit today.
Yeah.
I promise you I wasn't.
Because I'm getting tired. All right. So Jace, how's it going, Jace? You were in the comments for a while and it's not your time to shine. Are you at least 18? And can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I am.
All right, cool. What is that good reason? You're going to talk to me for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then you'll talk to Ariel and Kay. What is that good reason to believe in a God?
I believe that you have to have something after this. It's either you have to have something or there's nothing.
Why?
So if there's nothing, there's no problem in believing that.
That didn't really answer my question.
I'm trying to figure out a good way to explain it.
All right. So
It
the
really
reason,
is,
the reason you're saying that the good reason for me to believe in a God is because there might be something after we die.
There's no punishment if you don't.
Yeah. Why would there be punishment if we do? I'm very lost.
It's Pascal's
Because of
wager.
you.
That's all it is.
Yeah, probably. I'm
I disagree that there's no punishment. Not having sense, believing in things that are untrue can have many consequences. I objectively do not believe it is good for society for people to believe things that are untrue and for people to be making laws based off those claims. So I do think it has consequences.
Yeah, it does have negative consequences. I was gonna say the same thing out. I was gonna say something as well. There is negative consequences of believing in things without any type of evidence, because like we see what's happening now by people believing things without evidence. For example, the guy who runs our health department is believing that Tylenol is causing autism with zero evidence of that being the case. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so believing things without evidence does have consequences. But what I want to ask you, what I want to really get at is that just because, you know, when we pass away, there may be nothing or there may be something we don't know yet. Are you saying that's the reason for us to believe because there may be something? Like, that's not really a good reason, right?
It's because so most things that you can prove for the Christian cause, comes through 2,000-year-old literature that most people tend not to believe, even if it is eyewitness accounts.
All right. What is an what's eyewitness account? What's an eyewitness account?
The disciples, Mary, Joseph.
Now, guys, let's put down the fried chicken. Put down the fried chicken. Put down the KFC.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the racist. I was waiting for the racist.
Oh,
hey, how's it going? How's it going, Klansman?
Yeah. Oh,
how's it going, Klansman?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Now you in the plantation of the comment section. Now all the mention fried chicken by plantation. First of all, I'm like, and this is another thing. If you're gonna be racist, can you at least be a little bit more accurate? Volcy is the only person in here, I think, Ariel, I can't speak for you, that's not Black Americans. Black Americans were on plantations. I don't know what they were doing in Haiti, but
we were on sugar factories. And we burned them all down. My
point exactly. So if you're gonna be racist, can you be accurate? Don't look. I know racism is dumb, but can you be at least semi-intelligent?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Exactly. All right. So
you
Jason,
see a Haitian flag in his bio, and you're gonna talk about plantations.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jason, I'm gonna go ahead and start the clock again for you because someone interrupted. I think we were about at 13 minutes, so let's go ahead and start that again. All right. So yeah, where were we again? I'm sorry. Go ahead and
we were
say what
at of why you should believe in, and it's evidence from 2,000 years ago. From
all right, cool. So yeah, so when it comes to the accounts, right, there really is no way to show that those were actually eyewitness accounts at all. We know that they all sort of contradict each other. For example, I think when it comes to who saw Jesus after, one story says it was Mary alone. Another story said it was Mary and 2 other women. Another story says it was Mary and 4 other women. One story says it happened in the morning. Another one said it happened at twilight. There were other stories of one saw, 2 guards. One saw an angel inside. One saw an angel outside. So these are all like varying, like
angel. So basically, angel here, angel there, angel everywhere is basically what it's giving.
I know that not all of what is is true in the Bible, especially not the Gospels, because they're 4 different versions of the same story, and they're not the same.
Right. So not really a good reason.
Doesn't mean that it's wrong, but it's it's just that
when you say that it doesn't mean that it's wrong. That means that it's completely untrustworthy, right?
Not necessarily, because just the admittance, or like what's the word I'm looking for? I'm blanking right now. Like the lack of how many people were seen with Mary or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen.
Like
you're saying the different amount of people were with her, or how many guards were there.
Right. What I'm saying is that
are being translated hundreds of years later.
Right, Jace. What I'm saying is that it makes the story completely untrustworthy, because if you have several different stories on crucial facts, you can't trust that anymore. Like, for example, let's say there was a murder case, and I say that I saw someone with a red shirt do it. Kay says she saw someone with a blue shirt do it, and Ariel says she saw someone with a purple shirt do it. Those are three different facts, right? But if we all say that we saw it at Tuesday at 5 p.m., then there's a little bit more correlation there. And if we all speak English, then there's more correlation there. Now, that crucially, if we all say the suspect had, blonde hair and green eyes, then there's more correlation there. However, if I said that the suspect was wearing a blue shirt and he was an Indian man, and Kay says the suspect was wearing a red shirt and he was a Hispanic man, and Ariel said he was wearing a black shirt and he was a white man, there's a big problem there, isn't there? Can the police trust any of us at this point? They're not going to be able to, right? They're not going to be able to contend us in court. Exactly. So this is the same issue when it comes to the Bible stories. If one is saying it was Mary alone, it happened at twilight. Another saying it was Mary with 4 of the women, it happened in the morning. Another one is saying it was Mary and 2 women, and it happened in the afternoon, and there was a guard outside. We're having an issue there. Even though Mary is still this consistent one, all the other details differ. We can't trust the story anymore.
I get what you mean, but the whole entire thing, it derives around faith.
Is faith a good way to get to the truth?
It's not having. Say what?
Is faith a good way to get to the truth?
It's the best one that we have nowadays. Yeah.
No, it's not. Evidence is the best way to get to the truth. That's the best way, because
whenever you have a lack of evidence, what do you look towards?
Then we can't look. We have to look. No, when we have a lack of evidence, that gives us reason to not believe it. Because, like, for example, we can show that faith is not a good way. Hold on. Listen. Yeah, we have to go search for it, brother Jace. I can give you a reason why faith is not a good way to get to the truth. The sun right now, right? What is the sun? Is the sun a big ball of plasma?
I don't know. I don't know science like that.
Okay, so the sun is but you know that stars are just big balls of gas, right? You know that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so the sun is a big ball of gas. However, according to the faith of the Egyptians, the sun was basically Amun-Ra sitting up on his bed. Which one is right?
Probably the scientists.
Yeah, exactly. So faith is not a good way for us to get to the truth, because because we know that you can 100% believe something on faith and be wrong, because the Egyptians had 100% faith that Amun-Ra was sitting up in his bed, and they were wrong. So, like, it's not really a good way for us to get there. That's why I say faith is not a good way to get to the truth. It's not the best way. Evidence is the best way, and we have to search for it when we don't have it. Can I interrupt you for 1 second, Jason? I'm sorry, Jason. Just a quick thing. Baptize. I've invited you up several times because you keep asking me questions in the comments. I'm seeing it, but I'm not answering them because, like, again, I don't want to talk back and forth to the comments. All right, it's not up live. Either come on up, or I'm just gonna mute you for this live, and you can be a fan tomorrow when me and Bar go live. All right, Jace, go ahead.
I don't even know what we were on. It's like whenever that happens.
Say that again.
You were talking about how faith isn't a good way to get to a definitive answer.
Right, and we know it's not, because our ancient ancestors believes in a whole bunch of things that are down on faith, and we know they were wrong.
But there also are things from our ancestors that they believe through faith that were right.
Like what?
I'm not trying to give you. I don't know if I can give you anything off the top of my head, but it definitely happened.
Jace, that's still just proving his point, though. It's not a good way to get to objective facts.
Yeah, you have to find it somehow, and if you don't find it, you don't find it.
Right, cases.
People say they find it.
Jace. cases get put on the shelf. Have you ever heard of a cold case? When they don't have enough evidence, that's exactly what they do. Put it on the shelf until they have more evidence. You don't just go on faith and say, yep, there's the killer. Like you can't do that. That's not a reliable way to get to the truth, is what he's saying. And you're proving his point when you just try to do that little pivot and say, well, what about the things they were right about? That's not a reliable way to get to the truth. That's all he's saying.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, it's not your turn yet,
Yeah,
Viral.
you can. Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, I really don't know where to take this conversation. It seems like I really am stumped, but I don't mean for it to sound like that. It's just I don't know a good point to bring up, but I know.
All right, that's not a problem. We can go ahead and talk another time. I appreciate you being up here. Thanks for being nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, quick commercial break. We're at 9.9K likes. I want us to get to 15K within the next 20 minutes. Let's get to 15K within the next 20 minutes, or Kay will shut off the comments, and she is good for that. She will shut off those comments if we're not at 15K likes within the next 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and do that. Shout out to everybody who is watching me over on Deconstruction Junction. Don't worry, I see y'all. And I do appreciate y'all being here. What was his name? Natty Bulk, Light Free, Zoe Baker. I appreciate all y'all being there. Keep the conversation going. We're close to 3,000 views over on the YouTube, which I really, really appreciate. Shout out to everybody who's watching me on my channel, Volcy Thoughts. I see you there, Resist. I see you there, Drew. You guys are amazing. Cedric, I also see you there as well. I appreciate y'all being there. I do have a gift goal, y'all. Go ahead and hit up that gift goal. I'm going to go ahead and pin it in the comments now. Those gift goals are only like half a penny, y'all. Come on. I know I can afford half a penny. If you would like to also subscribe to me on this, right now is $9.99. That's because TikTok put the gift goal up. I don't know why, but if y'all would like to subscribe to me, y'all want to get all of the stickers that you can get, go ahead and subscribe to me as well. Don't forget that next year and coming in June, we have the Black Atheist Skeptics and Humanist Cookout coming soon. In January, I'll be going live almost every single day about the Black Atheist Skeptics and Humanist Cookout. You guys are all invited. If you are a Black atheist, skeptic, or humanist, even if you're a spiritualist person, you are invited as well. I do appreciate y'all. Right.
So heavy on the black.
Heavy on the black. All right. So for the person,
if you ain't got one or two black parents, you ain't coming.
Exactly. Cedric, the way that Cedric over on my YouTube, the way that you will call in is that you would actually need to come over to TikTok if you have that. I do not have a call-in number yet. When I do get a call-in number, it'll be on the screen and I will tag it as well. So here is where you will call in. I just pinned it. Just take a picture of it and you'll be able to get to it. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and start moving on. Stefan, how's it going, Stefan? It is your time to shine. Are you at least 18? And can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
55.
And can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
sure. Okay. So it's going to be 15 minutes with, it's going to be 15 minutes with me. And then you'll speak to Ariel and Kay when it gets to about 5 minutes, and we'll keep the conversation going from there. All right. All right. So Stefan, go ahead. Give us a good reason to believe in a God.
Okay. One example is God divided the light from the darkness, right? He called the light day and called the darkness night. Now, when God makes the sun shine, okay, without having the sun, and not only just the sun, the rainwater to rain upon the earth, we won't be able to get any food, will we?
Okay, cool. Here's the problem though, Stefan. You're simply assuming that God created the sun and everything like that. How do you actually prove that's true?
Well, you go on faith because, you know what I'm saying? The Holy Bible is the model of God's mind. So when we, because think about it, when you're growing up in a household and you got two parents, right? And let's just say that they don't ever talk about God, but you just going to school and you learning this and you learning that, and you going back home and you are hearing what your parents are saying, but they never talk about God. But all of a sudden, someone comes to you and start talking about God. And then next day, they was like, well, would you like to go to church?
Okay,
with us.
Stephen.
We got a son your age. I want to meet
Stephen. Stephen, I'm sorry. I got to interrupt. I got to interrupt you one more time because it doesn't really answer my question. What I asked you is, how do you actually show that's true? What the Bible says. How do you actually show that's true? Because you said you go by faith, right? But if you listen to my last conversation, faith is not a good way for us to get to the truth. So how do we actually prove what it says?
Okay, if you're not going on faith, you can ask God to show you a sign, and God will do just that.
But I'm just assuming a God exists. I need to have the evidence that it actually does exist before I do that.
Man, if you it's like this. If you don't have faith, you can ask God. I mean, you put like this. You can start off not believing in God. You could just say something like, if you're real, show me a sign.
All right, cool.
I mean,
all right, cool. I'll do that right now. I'll do that right now. All right. So Olodumare, if you're real, my wallet will remain black. Look, my wallet remained black. Olodumare of the Orisha religion must be real. See how it's a problem? Yeah, really. No, for real. Do you see how that's a problem? Olodumare is the ultimate god of the Orisha of the Yoruba religion. The creator of all mankind. The creator of Africa.
You following that stuff that Beyonce be about and whosoever else, right?
It's what our ancestors did before white men enslaved us.
And our ancestors were also pagan.
Yeah, maybe we should go back to being pagan.
No, sir.
Why should we not?
Because I don't want to be kneeling down to some rock and say, well, would you please give me some water? And
but you'll kneel down to some blonde hair guy tell him to give you some water.
Well, first of all, Jesus wasn't no blind haired man. If you read the scriptures, it tells you
that's actually correct.
Over in the center,
You're
from
correct.
The center of the world.
Yeah, you're correct.
So
he wasn't blonde hair.
Man.
Yeah, you're correct. He wasn't blonde. He was probably man. He wasn't Caucasian. He was still some foreigner from the Middle East.
He was he's from the middle of the world, the center of the world. Yeah.
The Middle East is not the center of the world. The world is a sphere, so there is no center.
That's where the equator is, right?
No.
The equator, where melanated people come from?
The equator runs through Africa, my friend. So our ancestors. Hold on, Stephen, stop. Jesus was it lived nowhere near the equator, my friend. The equator is closer to our ancestors. So that means that if you're talking about the center of the world, that's our ancestors. So why were we worshiping someone who's not the center of the world? Palestine is not in the center of the world, my friend. Palestine is nowhere near the equator. Nowhere near.
Well, what I'm saying is to make it simplistic for you.
No. We're not gonna do the condescending shit, bro. Palestine is not near. Hold on, wait, stop. Palestine is nowhere near the center of the world. That's where Jesus came from. Jesus came from Palestine. That's not near the equator. The equator is where our ancestors are from. That's near the center, not Palestine. So if you're saying that if you're making the argument that he comes from the center of the world, we should be doing what our ancestors doing, who were at the center of the world because they were near the equator, right?
Yeah, we should be planting food and this and that, we should be about that business, right? I mean,
right, exactly. So my question would then be, why should we follow this foreigner over our own ancestors?
So you say, why should we believe what?
Why should we follow the foreigner over our own ancestors?
Well, the foreigners, they really didn't have any spiritual validity to begin with because they were they didn't even want to bathe. Some of them didn't even walk upright.
Oh, so awesome. Let's go ahead and drop Christianity then.
Oh, Christianity.
Because they're the ones who introduced it to us, right? Our ancestors are from West and Central Africa. They're the ones who introduced us to that. So let's not accept it. You kind of prove my point.
Oh, Christianity, they got that from really, if you want to know the truth, they got that from the black Egyptians and stuff.
No, they got it from the Jews. They didn't get it from the Egyptians.
Well, what I'm saying is that before them ended up having what they ended up having, it was already some individuals that had what they learned, so they just they adopted what it is that the other people had, and they used it for their own purpose to rule the world, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, they got something. They got a Levantine religion. The Byzantines took it, and because they were near they were near Palestine, so the Byzantines took this religion, made it the religion of their empire, and then centuries later, when Europe went through went through their ages, they deified their culture through that religion, and boom, that's what we got. So still, that has nothing to do with Central and West Africa. So Central and West Africa, we had our own. Hold on, Central and West Africa, we had our own thing going on. We had our own moral systems, all that. Yeah. So like this foreign thing coming in, we didn't need it. So, and we don't need to worship some Palestinian guy. We can do the thing with our ancestors. Why not?
Okay. And another thing too, to prove that there's a God, you can hear, you can see, you can smell, you can taste, you can chew, you can swallow, you can move your head and your neck, your limbs and your legs. You're able to your bodily functions when you go to the bathroom, whatever you got to do. Number one, number two, you're able to eat food. You're able to drive a vehicle. You're able to. You can sail a boat if you got one.
Yeah. So what though? Yeah, but so what though?
So all that, by you being able to do all that, that doesn't happen by accident. That doesn't come from some Big Bang theory or Big Boom theory or whatever you want to call it.
It's happened because we evolved. Correct. It happened because we evolved. It didn't come from the Big Bang. It didn't come from the Big Bang. It came from because we evolved.
Man, when God first made man and woman, they were not ignorant. They knew the do's and the don'ts. You know what I'm saying?
How do you prove that story to be true?
Well, no creation ever made itself. Not even so much as one grain of sand could have made its own self, or even a star for that matter. So it would have had to have taken the insight of the Creator to go ahead and speak it for.
How do we know that? How do you know that we're a deliberate creation of some agent? That's my question.
How do I know that we're not the creation of some agent? You say.
How do we know that? How do you know that we're some sort of deliberate creation of an agent, like something that has will? Like I'm an agent, you're an agent. So how do you know that this entire universe or humanity is was deliberately put in here by some agent? How do you know that? Because you're simply saying that God created man and woman, et cetera, et cetera. That's just a story in the book. How do you know that's true?
Well, to be honest, I don't know no other way to tell you. Matter of fact, you're talking about an agent. Well, God, he happens to be that which, of course, is the creator. And if you want to call him an agent, I guess you can call him the good agent because he's the source.
Right. So, Stephen, what I'm asking you is, how do you know that's true? That's what I'm asking. Everything that you're saying right now, how do you know it's true?
How do I know it's true?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm going to use this for example. Now, when I pray, I'm going to give you an example. I prayed to God for some tennis shoes. Why did a man bless me to come in contact with a man that has some tennis shoes inside of a box?
I don't know. But let me ask you this question.
It was based on my.
Let me ask you this question.
On my faith.
Right. Let me ask you this question.
To believe God.
Right. Let me ask you this question. There are people right now, children in the Congo, who have faith in God and are pleading that the soldiers don't come and grape their mothers and their sisters. It still happens. So why did God bless you with shoes and not blessing those people with stopping the rapist?
Well.
Do you think your shoes is more important than is you getting shoes more important than those rapists stopping them people? They're stopping the rapists? Does God have his priorities mixed up? Your shoes are more important?
No, I wouldn't go so far to say that, but I will say that
so why did he bless you with shoes? Why did you get blessed with shoes, but those people didn't get blessed with the rapists being stopped from harming their mother and sister?
Well, I wouldn't go so far to say that my shoes are more significant than someone, but then the purpose of what you're saying that the children are praying about. But I will say that everyone is in need. But I know that. I mean, if it does happen, and they still pray, I don't. Now concerning that situation, I don't know why that would still happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear how you're struggling with this question?
Yeah, because I'm saying that, but what I'm saying is that if you praying in the name of Jesus, whereas that God, he got to answer. You know what I mean? He got to answer. I mean, God, one thing about God reads heart language. God, he knows the intentions of all. So if I want to get
hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. I just don't want you to. I don't want to pivot from what we're talking about. Right? You're struggling with the question because you understand what he's asking you. What makes you so special that you asked for tennis shoes and he let you run into somebody that just so happened, to have a pair? But there are children starving to death every day. There are people being ethnically cleansed every day that believe in this God, the same God you said gave you some tennis shoes, and he doesn't show up. What makes you think your prayers are more special than theirs?
My prayers are not more special than theirs at all.
Right. So why do you think that he gave you that pair of tennis shoes, but he's not giving them safety or giving them food or curing their cancer or whatever it might be?
It only thing I can say is that if they're not praying to,
but they are.
They are, bro. I'm talking about people in the Congo right now. The Congo is 99% Christian, bro.
These are countries that are more Christian than us. Like they take that shit more serious than we do over here. And he answered you and gave you some tennis shoes, but he won't answer them. And I'm asking you this for a reason, because I try my hardest to find the empathy in y'all. That's why I came off of mute, because I can hear you struggling with the question. But now you're gonna make one of two decisions. You're gonna think about it and you're gonna agree with what we're saying, or you're gonna start making excuses for the God, which is what it sounded like you were about to do. You're about to tell us, well, they ain't praying right. They ain't really Christians. They didn't have enough faith. That's a slippery slope. These are children, mind you, that believe in the same God as you.
Yeah, I hear you though, but look, the only thing I can say about the situation is that God is God. He responds to prayer.
Right.
God is God. He responds to prayer.
But he doesn't.
He responds to praise.
He doesn't though. You think he answered your prayer, but he won't answer theirs.
So, Stephen.
No,
if he responds to prayers,
no, I won't dare say he won't answer their prayers.
He doesn't. They die. They starve to death. He doesn't. He doesn't show up.
You know what though? Now you said that those people are Christians over there.
Yeah. Have you ever looked up the demographics of the Congo? They're like they're more Christian than over here. They're like 99% Christian.
But even over here, children starve to death. Here.
But when you say Christian, are you talking about what they call like what they practice over there at the Vatican?
You're doing exactly what I said you were about to do. You're trying to find an excuse for why God won't answer their prayers. Doesn't God love the little children? Isn't that what your book says?
God has no respect of persons. He will bless the adults.
It doesn't matter. It also says that he loves the little children. Let them come to me. Do I need to start reciting scriptures? Because you're getting ready to say something horrendous. I'm trying to help you. Like, if you don't care, I don't care. but you're getting ready to say something weird. I'm trying to help you. We hear y'all do it all the time.
Hey, Ariel, give me 1 second. Give me pause.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Hey, Xenon, I actually muted you by mistake. That's why I invited you. I do apologize for that. I muted you by mistake. All right, Xenon.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, no
When the
worries.
15 minutes are over, like, when will it be like the next person's turn to debate? Just a quick question.
Yeah. It's gonna be the next person in the next few minutes because we do got to move on from Stefan. It's gonna be.
I'm sorry. I just feel like we're running in circles with this question. You can't prove it or disprove it, and I just sorry.
Yeah, not a problem. We're gonna move on from Stefan in a second. All right, so Stefan, like we're gonna go ahead and move on now, but I do appreciate you being up. I do want you to think about that for a moment though. Like, why would God answer your prayer about your shoes, but He won't answer little children about their sisters and their mothers being raped by soldiers? And they're Christian. They're more Christian than we are. Trust me. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to, was that Gabiolis? Gabiosis. There we go. Xenon, no problem. I just wanted to let you know that I muted you by mistake. Please stay in the comments, please. I'll go ahead and let you down. I appreciate you, Xenon. All right, so Gabiosis, and it's gonna be Viral, and then Laney. Okay, and then I may get out of here. All right, so Gabiosis. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If you don't
Ariel.
mind, I'm sorry because I know Kate dropped, and I'm not a mod in here, but I be a mod everywhere because what y'all are gonna do is respect these spaces and respect these Black men giving their time and their intelligence. Okay, please tap the screen because there's 144 people in here. 17K is disrespectful. Y'all know how I get down. Please tap the screen. There she goes. She in the comments. Y'all, please tap the screen. That's how Volcy is able to keep these lives going. Whether you agree or not, you're here. You're enjoying the conversation. Please tap the screen. Thank you.
All right, and I just add you as moderator, Ariel. I do appreciate that. I forgot that I didn't add you yet.
Yeah,
all right,
no, you got it.
All right, cool. Gabiosis, how's it going, Gabiosis? Are you at least 18, and can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, I'm 39 years old, and the reason why I think you should believe that there's the existence of a deity or a God is because, first of all, I see your flag is, I think, Haitian flag. Right? You're from Haiti. I don't know if you've ever lived in Haiti or not, but the reason why I feel like, or I believe that you should believe in a God is because of voodoo. I'm African, and in African religion, there's something we call we have like voodoo practices, and these things are real. Like, I've grown up in Africa. I came to the United States when I was I was a little bit of an adult.
So Gabiosis, I know you're gonna give your story about voodoo and juju and stuff like that. None of that shit's real either, bro. It's not real either. You know how I know it's not real? Because if voodoo and juju was real, would Great Britain and France be fucking us up the way they do right now? Do you really think France would have survived all this time if voodoo was real?
So yeah,
none of the colonizers would have.
Yeah, they would not have survived if voodoo was real, bro. None of them. Like all of them would have been turned into lugawoos. They would have been turned into cats a long ass time ago. So that's why I say that's just not real either. But however, this is what I would say.
Turn them white folk into a chicken to fry, since they won't talk about fried chicken earlier, bitch.
Exactly. So Gabiosis, this is what I would say. Even though I don't think that it's real, right? I respect people who follow those traditions a lot more because those were what our ancestors did. We stuck to our own spiritual heritage and our own spiritual tradition, which is important. Our spiritual heritage is extremely important. And the reason why that is because we see when it gets deleted, we see when it gets erased, we follow traditions that are not our own, that are incompatible with the way that we do things. And it makes an excuse for white supremacy as well. Now, we know how much white supremacy screwed up the continent and screwed black people up around the world. Would you agree that it did?
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
Gotcha.
Now,
so that's why I respect people who follow our original traditions way more than those who follow Christianity. But go ahead.
Also, I'm like Volcy, I'm a Black American, and we have our own version of it. We call it hoodoo. I believe there's like in Latin America they call it Santeria. Or something like that. So we have our own versions throughout the diaspora.
Yeah, exactly.
But it originated
go ahead,
from,
I said that later. Hoodoo.
Yeah, it all originated from Africa. But go ahead.
Africa. It originated from Africa. Now, these are things that people, they have talisman, they have certain things that they give to people for them to see certain things happen. And I've known a lot of people that have used these things and they see things happen. And these are people they go to, like voodoo priests that do rituals. People do rituals and they become rich from it. We have young guys, they call them Sakawa guys, right? They don't work, but they have money. They have million. They buy expensive cars in Africa, live in expensive mansions, and they are young kids.
Yeah, because they scamming niggas, bro. they scamming or they selling drugs.
There are other people doing that, but they are not as successful as these people. And these people will tell you that the reason why the other thing are as successful as us is because we went to see this person. Some people travel to the deep forest into like
all right, so Gabiosis, this is what I'm gonna say. There are Nigerian televangelists that are doing the same thing. I think one of them is worth $175 million right now, and he's a Christian evangelist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're doing the exact same thing. Like they're making a whole bunch of money on this. You feel me?
If they didn't exist, why are people getting? Why are people having? Why are they having testimonies? Why do people go there? Why are people afraid of these things?
They're afraid of these things because they've been brainwashed to be afraid of them. All right, like voodoo and hoodoo and hold on, Gabiosis. Voodoo and hoodoo and juju, none of that is scary, bro. None of it. I've been to voodoo ceremonies, bro. Hold on, listen. I've been to voodoo ceremonies. None of that shit is scary, bro. They just dance and welcome the ancestors into the presence and have a spiritual.
It's just playing. These people are just doing it for fun.
Yes,
like people go there.
No, they're not doing it for fun. They're really serious about it. What I'm saying is that it's not real either. That's what I'm saying. None of the shit is real, bro.
How come people are having results? How do they get the results?
The same way because it's called confirmation bias. The same way that hold on, okay, I gotta meet you real quick. All right, so the same way that people who pray and get results, like the last guy who was just here, right? He just said that he prayed for the last guy who was just here, right? He said he prayed for tennis shoes and he got tennis shoes. So it's the same thing. It's this confirmation bias, bro. Like I can go ahead and light a candle to my ancestors right now and say, oh, I'll get a raise at work if I light this candle. But guess what? At work, I'm one of the top performers. So obviously I'm going to get a raise. So it's like, that's what it is. It's a confirmation bias. That's all it is.
Have you lived in Haiti before?
Yeah, I used to go there for my summers. I lived there all summers until I was about 11.
All right. That's the reason why I was asking that is because in American culture, they don't understand these kind of things. So these things are ludicrous to them. So when you explain certain things,
I'm American. I understand it perfectly fine.
Like Gabriel says, I'm telling you, I understand it's perfectly fine, bro. Like my dad is a pastor. He has several churches in Haiti. There are people who are his enemies over there. All that good stuff, right? Like I've gone there multiple times. I've seen voodoo ceremonies. I've been in them. Like I understand this very well. My family talks about all the time. My grandmother was a voodoo practitioner. You know what I'm saying? So
like we said, we have our own versions of it throughout the diaspora. Like Black Americans, we have hoodoo. Like
do you do rituals? Do you guys do rituals?
Me, no, I don't personally do rituals.
I don't practice hoodoo, but I do believe that the people who do, yes, they do.
So that's what I'm saying. The rituals that you guys, I don't think you're doing the kind of rituals they're doing in Africa, because the African rituals are real rituals.
All right, so Gabiosis, explain this to me. Yeah, explain this to me, right? Because there was recently, I think it was like actually a year or two ago, there was a Nigerian content creator who went straight up to some people who do juju and asked them, turn me into a cat and I'll give you $1,000 American dollars, and none of them did it. So how do you explain that it's real?
There's a lot of fake ones out there, right? There's a lot of fake ones out there. The real ones, you can't even take camera there. You can't even, there's some places you don't even take your possessions there. Let me tell you, look at, there's like when they do the rituals, I was talking about the rituals, right? I have a friend of mine, when they were going to do the rituals for him, they told him to bring someone. and they were able to conjure the person's image on water in front of him. And they said, is this person? You want us to do this and this to him? Because he was owed money. He took it to the police station, and he was trying to fight it. Africa, some of the corrupt
So
leaders.
Gabios, this is a very good story. I love the story, right? I love these stories. It doesn't show that it's real, my guy. Like all these stories of people being turned into goats and cats and being raised from the dead, they happen all the time, and no one has evidence of it. No one. I was once told that Haiti has mermaids, and when people describe the mermaids to me, you know what it said? You know what they told me? They told me that they had a sharp teeth, a long nose. Yeah. So they told me that the mermaid had long teeth, a long nose, and was green and scaly. That's a fucking crocodile. So it's like these, like I said, people are always mistaken.
To be fair, do they have crocodiles in Haiti?
We do, yeah. We have crocodiles. So it's all just those type of stories, right? It's the same thing. My wife's Jamaican. She says the same thing. She hears these stories all the time, and then when they actually describe what these creatures look like, it's either a goat, it's a horse, or it's a crocodile. Like we just mistaking real life shit for mythical shit. I'm saying it's just like, and besides, what's the reason to believe in a god, bro? Because people do voodoo. Who cares? I'd rather people do voodoo than be Christian. Tell you the truth.
They're communicating with a deity. So if there's a deity, that means there's a supreme being.
Yeah, the supreme being is Olodumare, the god of the Orisha religion. That's the supreme being.
I don't know who the supreme being is, but if they are communicating with voodoo gods, and they're telling you, bring this, bring that, don't sleep at this time of the day, don't eat this, because we are doing these rituals for you, and for it to be effective, we want you to do A, B, C, and D. And some of the people, when they break, they said, oh, if we're going to do this for you, and if you break this rule, this is what is going to happen to you. You will go mad.
So
people
what?
have gone mad.
So yeah. I know they've gone mad. Is confirmation bias. Those people are fine. They just expected themselves to go mad, and they did. Or they put something in their food. Like, for example, Haitians have the powder, right? You know that little powder thing when we said that powder could turn you into a zombie? Yeah, it could put you into a vegetative state. That's a real thing, but it's chemistry. It's not that magical. That powder can put you into a real vegetative state.
If a doctor prescribes a treatment for you and says do A, B, and C, and if you don't do A, B, and C, maybe you miss C, this is what happens to you, and you actually, and you miss C, and that actually happens to you. Is it just like, how did he know that this and this will happen to you? How did they know?
Because he has evidence and paperwork and chemistry and science. That's why. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with hoodoo and juju and all that. They do these herbs and stuff like that because this has been in practice for African people for thousands of years, and we know how, and we pass down those practices to each other. It's all about chemistry, bro. It's not anything else. It's just chemistry. It's chemistry that Europeans didn't understand, but we're simply doing chemistry. That's all we're doing.
So what if I said I'll sponsor your trip? We'll go to Africa. We'll go to my village, and I'll tell them we'll go to the priest.
Let's do it. Go ahead and inbox me right now. I would love to meet an Ife voodoo priest.
This person doesn't believe in any deity. There's nothing this.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead. Let's do it, bro. Inbox me right now. We will, and we'll go to your village. We'll go to the voodoo priest. I'm gonna ask him to turn me into a cat. If that shit don't happen, bro, you're gonna pay me $5 a week for life, bro. Like, for real, for wasting my time going over there.
You're not going to turn into a cat. It will do something that it will be, because listen. These things, if you have not experienced this before, right? You don't you may not understand how these things are. I went to an all-boys school, secondary school back in my country.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and keep going through more and more testimonies, and I ain't got no time for that. All right, viral. I do apologize that this took so long, but it is your time to shine, and it's going to be Lainey and then Dark Brainchild. It'll be you right after Lainey. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. So, viral, it is your time to shine. Are you at least 18? And can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, I can give you a good reason to believe in God. He
Sure.
created us. He created us from the dust
Cool.
of the earth.
Cool. How do you prove that?
How do I prove that? Okay. The moment you die, instead your body begins the process called decomposition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Where naturally decay breaks it down into simpler organic matter, eventually becoming part of the soil, which God created you from, essentially turning to dust and dirt.
Okay,
which
viral,
God created us from.
viral.
Yes.
That's a circular argument. You're saying God created us, and I want to ask you, how do you know that God created us from dirt? I want to ask you, how do you prove that to be true? You said that because we when we die and our body decomposes, our skeletons then become dirt because God created dirt.
Yes.
It's a circular argument.
He said,
no, that's a circular argument. You haven't shown. Hold on. Listen, viral.
So you shall
viral.
return.
Listen, hold on, viral. Listen. You actually haven't shown how God created dust. You're simply saying that He created dirt, and then when we die, we become dirt because God created dirt. That's a circular argument. How do you show that God created dirt?
God
Can you
said
prove
He
that?
created us.
I know, viral. Listen, I know you saying that He created us from dirt, but when I ask you how do you prove that, your conclusion to your so-called evidence was that God created us from dirt. You're making a circular argument.
No, I'm not making a circular argument.
Yes, you are. Hold on. Point one was that God created us. I asked, how do you prove that? You said we die and become dirt because God created dirt. That's a circular argument.
Because God said, from dust you come, so dust you shall
How do you prove that's true?
Because you turn to what He said. You turn back to what He created you from.
Just because we turn to dust doesn't mean that God created dust.
He turned you back to what He created you.
Viral. Listen, just because we become dust in thousands of years doesn't mean that God created dust. You're claiming God created dust, and then we die and become dust. You have to go. Hold on, viral. Stop. Listen to what I'm actually telling you. You're just reacting. Listen to what I'm saying. You cannot simply say that God created dust because we become dust because God created dust. That's a circular argument, my guy.
Okay.
You actually hold on. Listen. Stop. You actually have to show how God. You actually have to show evidence that God created dust. You simply cannot say because we die and become dust, God created it. That's nonsense.
Okay. So did God say from dust you come to dust?
You have to show a God exists first.
No.
I know what the Bible says. Just because the Bible says something doesn't make it true.
But is that true? Do you turn back to dust from what He said?
No, we don't turn back to dust.
It just says you turn back to soil. That you turn back and through time
we don't. We don't. You realize we can fossilize, right? You realize that, right?
Fossilizing is
is
what?
Fossilizing isn't dust. The fossilizing is rock.
You return back to the earth from which you came, right? That's what you return back to dust. You return to the earth from which you came.
If you get buried, sure.
No.
Or we can turn into ash.
Ash is the ashes, dust to dust. That's the same thing. Ash and dust is the same thing.
Viral. I don't think viral. Listen. I don't think you're actually understanding here. You're taking something that the Bible says and saying that it's true because we become dirt and dust or whatever when our body decomposes. That's not how evidence works, my guy.
It is evidence.
No, it's not. Hold on. Okay, it's not. It's not. Hold on. Wait. Stop.
Can I prove?
Hold on. Let me show you. No. Let me show you why it's not. Because if that's true, how come the Greek religion, the Greek god of death, isn't true either? Because the Greek god of death is the same thing.
Right. And I was going to point out really quickly, people were dying before the Bible was written, right? You know that they saw them decompose and they would have enough of an understanding to write this into the book. Like, it's not, we're asking you to prove that, though. Like, prove that it was the God who set that up. It was the God who caused that, and He did it on purpose.
That's what I'm showing. You gotta come off mute.
Invite.
So viral. Just like how Ariel said, humankind has seen people die for hundreds and thousands of years, right? And because we witnessed that, we witnessed people go ahead and die, get buried, decompose, and then their bones turn to dirt after hundreds and thousands of years. That's what we've seen, right?
Okay.
So, of course, when people started to invent religions, they started to write that stuff down. That does not mean that all of a sudden that came from God. You have to show a God exists first, and you haven't shown that.
Okay, so he said before I formed the earth, I came and it was what? Null and void. I took the earth.
Bro, a claim in the Bible is not evidence, bro. You're just repeating what the Bible says. It's not preaching time. That's the only reason why I keep interrupting you. You're simply repeating what the Bible says. Hold on, stop.
Oh my God.
You're simply repeating what the Bible says. This is not preaching time.
Okay. So how do I prove it if I don't repeat what it
evidence.
says? He said, okay,
hold on.
this is
viral. Stop. What the Bible says is not evidence of anything, because the Bible also says that if you put if you put two cows in front of a striped patterns and they mate in front of it, you're gonna get striped calves. That's not how genetics works, right? So just because the Bible says something doesn't make it true. You have to show how what the Bible says is actually true. Simply saying, oh, the Bible says, oh, in this book, God said this. So what? That doesn't make it true.
Because I have proof. If he said that I took the top part and formed it into a dome, I took the water and made it dome, and only water comes from the sky, and water comes from the sky.
Water doesn't come from the sky.
Where does water come from?
Water comes from the earth.
Rain from the sky.
Water comes from the earth. Hold on, viral, stop. You graduated high school, right?
It doesn't rain from the sky.
Viral, stop. Listen, bro. You graduated high school, correct? Come off me. I just need a yes or no. Viral, I just need a yes or no. You graduated high school, correct?
Yes, viral. Answer my question.
Viral, chill. Viral, hold on.
Fall from the sky. No,
viral. My God, bro.
Does rain fall from the sky?
Viral.
I'm muting you because you're screaming and you're over talking the host. Please hold on.
Because
viral. Stop, bro. Stop. Everybody pause.
If you do it again, me and Ariel will drop you.
Because you can't answer the question.
Viral, I can answer your question. Viral, stop, bro. Jesus Christ, bro, stop.
Because you don't know how to follow direction. So drop.
Jesus Christ, Viral. Okay, what I wanted to say to him is that we all learn in high school what the water cycle is. Water doesn't simply come from the sky, my guy. Water evaporates. And yes, rain falls. And then it evaporates again. It's called the water cycle. Water doesn't come from the sky. Holy shit.
Somebody in the comments was right. That's honestly like 4th grade.
This is 4th grade.
Not even middle school. It's not a hard concept.
Jesus Christ. All right, Lainey, how's it going, Lainey? Are you at least 18? And can you give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Okay, so I would like to preface this by, well, I am Christian. I should probably say that first, what religion I do believe in. Can I ask you what religion you believe in, or
None.
if you do? Okay, so you're atheist, right?
Yep.
Okay. We are all, well, me, Volcy, all the mods, me and Ariel and Volcy are all atheists. Yes.
Okay. So, can you humor me with this real quick? Is religion not faith? You can't prove a religion. This question is unprovable because religion is faith.
But
right?
that's the point, isn't it? That it can't be
so you can't prove
there's no
it.
basis for it.
But also, Lainey, it says give me a good reason to believe. It doesn't say prove it.
Yeah. It gives me, but I feel like also a good reason would start with evidence for the claim.
Right. You can't give somebody a reason without evidence. Like I've seen a lot of people come on here and they quote the Bible, but the Bible is man-made, which makes it unreliable, and it has also been translated for years. So you can't prove or give somebody a good reason to believe in God. Faith is personal. So it's either passed down.
So Lainey, that creates a problem. Why would you then be a Christian then? Because if you're admitting that it can't be proven and that the Bible is corrupted, that means Jesus even rising from the dead might be a corrupted story. So why believe it?
Well, that brings me to my own personal testimony is I have really no physical evidence to believe it, but it's faith, something personal. Personal. Jeez, I'm sorry.
Does faith get us to the truth?
So I have had my own, what I believe to be, and it's interaction with God, and God saved my life, and it is something personal to me.
Understood.
But I cannot prove that to you, which makes this. Sorry.
Is faith a good way to get to the truth?
Is faith a good way to get to the truth? Well, faith is what you believe to be your truth, but you can't give somebody physical evidence of it.
Right.
So
but
I
my
do
question
believe
is
that God is a real thing and
my
the
question
truth,
is
but I
my
can't
question
prove that
is
to you.
my question is faith a good way to get to the truth?
I don't know if I understand what you mean when you say truth.
When I say truth, I mean something objective and verifiable. Can faith get you there?
Depends, yeah.
Right. So you can believe on something on faith and be 100% right, but you can also believe something on faith and be 100% wrong. Correct?
Correct. Which is why it is
Right.
faith.
So
and
that's
why it is personal.
that's why faith is unreliable, because the Egyptians had all faith that Amun-Ra was sitting up in his bed, and that's why the sun came up. They were wrong. So faith is not a good way for us to get to the truth.
Right. But let me give you an example. So for all we know, let's say in this instance, God is real. Okay, I'm not saying he is, like to you. I'm not trying to tell you who he is. But let's say he is, and he interacts with somebody and gives them undeniable proof, and they're not in a religious psychosis or anything. They are actually interacting with God for like the sake of this argument, right? And they go and tell you, they can't prove it to you. God didn't give them proof. It wasn't recorded or anything. But now they know God is real and they believe it. But they know it's the truth and they cannot prove that to others. That makes it, the truth, but it doesn't give somebody else a reason to believe in God. There will never be evidence for someone else to believe in God. It's faith, and faith is personal. It's either passed down as a belief from your from other people in
We
your life.
understand
or
all
it's
this,
something
right?
you
We
gain
understand
yourself.
that faith is personal. We get all that, right? But the thing is, what we keep trying to point out, and that you kind of admitted, is that there's no way to get to the truth from that.
There's physical evidence.
No, there isn't, and it's not your turn.
There's I am playing devil's advocate here. There is no physical evidence of any religion. If there was physical evidence of a religion, we would have one sole religion because it would have been proven.
Exactly. That was so Lainey. You just ran right into my next point, right? If you're going to accept personal testimony, then you have to accept personal testimony from people that worship Baal, or people that worship or even Muslims, whatever. Like, then you have to accept everybody's personal testimony, because who's to say that they didn't have that interaction? So do you believe in all those other gods too?
No, I believe in my God because my personal testimony is my point. And my personal testimony should not affect you.
Lainey, I don't know why you're talking so loud. Please.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
But my personal testimony is not to prove. My personal testimony is why I believe in my religion. But that's not going to give you guys a reason, which my point isn't to prove that and give you a reason to believe in God. My point is that your question is paradoxical. It's going to repeat over and over, and it can never be proved, because if it was proved, then it wouldn't be faith, it would be fact.
Lainey, that's not the question. The question isn't prove God exists. It says, give me a good reason to believe in your God.
Right. And for me, like some sort of evidence is a good reason.
There's evidence in the Red Sea.
Can you please wait till it's your turn to debate?
It's not your turn.
That's rude. And she's a woman. Please wait your turn.
I'm not angry. I'm sorry. I was raising my voice. So can you repeat your question? I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought.
Okay. So when I say, can you give me a good reason? For me, a good reason would be some sort of evidence. And if you don't have any sort of evidence, then what is the real good reason? For me, like these entire philosophical arguments of contingency and tag and all that, I don't take those as good reasons, because you can use any of those for any god you want, or even fairies, pink unicorns. You can use those same arguments for those, right? So, and no one believes in those. Well, not many people believe in those. So those are not really good reasons. So I would say a good reason is some sort of demonstrable evidence for it, or something to back it up. You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, if I were to say Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and you would ask me what are the reasons for that, I would say, okay, let's go through his discography. Let's go through his production. Let's go through his lyrics that are layered. Let's go through his first album, which was an entire story. Let's go through, his second album, which won a Pulitzer Prize for its writing. Let's go through his poetic things like that, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's go through his flow, his technical skill as a rapper, stuff like that. And this is how we know what technical skills of rappers are. What I just gave that is not really hard demonstrable evidence, but you can see that I'm giving you actual reasons, right? Things like that. So when we say what's a good reason for a God, like to believe in a God, and someone says, oh, when I was 12 years old, I, prayed and got a tiara. I'm like, so, I mean, that's not really a good reason. Does that make sense, Lainey?
Yes. And I completely agree that you cannot prove somebody into believing in God, because your testimonies will always be, you'll either have to prove it using your own personal testimony, which isn't something that is, you can even believe that maybe they're just making that testimony up, or quoting the Bible, which is from so many years ago. And as I said, isn't a trusted source. You can't rely on it. My point I'm making is, like, me, I've personally found my religion through like my own interactions with God, which I'm not going to cite here because it can't prove anything to you.
Right. So we're on the same page there, right? Like you don't have any evidence. Your personal testimony is why you believe. That's fine. Now, why would you want to follow a God who does the horrendous things that yours does?
Can you list the horrendous things my God does, please?
Slavery, rape, genocide, the list goes on and on.
All right. So you're asking like why bad stuff happens if the God is all seeing.
Nope.
Or like
I'm asking why you would follow a God who commands and condones all of those things.
Well, we don't know if God commands those things.
Well, according to your book, which is the only way y'all have knowledge of this God, he does.
Well, we don't know why God does stuff.
That's not what I asked you. He did it according to the text. So why are you okay with it is what I'm asking.
Right. And I can bring it up if you like me to. Like for example, Deuteronomy, right? These are all, when the Israelites were taking over the quote unquote promised land, something that they're still going off of today, but that's sort of another time. But for Deuteronomy 20:10-16, it says, when you draw near a town to fight against it, offer it terms of peace. If it accepts your terms of peace and surrenders to you, then all people in it shall serve you at forced labor, which basically means enslave the town. Even if they offer you peace, you're gonna go ahead and enslave them anyway. But if it does not offer you terms of peace and makes war against you, then you shall besiege it. And when the Lord your God gives it to your hand, you shall put all its males to the sword. So basically, a fratricide, essentially, kill all the men. You may, however, take your plunder of the women, the children, the livestock, and everything else in the town. All it's your spoil. You may enjoy the spoil of your enemies, which was kind of crazy. So women and children are spoiled. And he's telling him that you may enjoy the spoil of your enemies, which your glory your God has given to you. Thus you shall treat all the towns that are very far from you, which are not towns of these nations here. But as for the towns, these people that the Lord your God is giving you as inheritance, you must not let anything that breathes remain alive. So go ahead and commit genocide or fratricide. Take all the women because they're your spoils, and you can do whatever you want with them. Sounds pretty horrific.
That is the Old Testament, correct?
Next you.
I'm not saying anything. I'm asking like when that is. That's in the Old Testament.
But Lainey,
I'm asking a question.
Lainey,
it's in the Bible.
Those things are in the New Testament as well, and your Bible also says that God doesn't change, so it doesn't matter if it's in the Old or the New.
Also, here is the thing. I'm like, whether it's in the Old Testament is irrelevant because, for example, when Christians want to persecute gay people, they have no problem going to go back to that Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
I am not homophobic, and I please love stuff.
I'm like, I'm gonna say you were, but the Christian religion is, and we know exactly how they give that up. They'll go right to that Old Testament.
Right. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in that though. I don't believe in the Old Testament, and I don't use the Old Testament as an argument. So I just wanted to.
If you don't believe in the Old Testament, where do you get the God from?
Like I said, my personal experience, and
right, but you're
New
a Christian.
Testament.
You believe in the Christian God, so you can't have Jesus without that Old Testament God.
The Old Testament for us or for me personally, I see as history before Jesus. So
well, that's not true, but also that doesn't negate what I just said. You don't get Jesus without that Old Testament.
Without the Old Testament,
God.
yeah. Like multiple Christians have argued this before. Like the Old Testament all leads to Jesus, right? They've argued this. They even said that they even use Psalms as a prophecy, quote unquote, for Jesus. You know
also,
what I'm saying?
when Christians were upholding white supremacy, just 100 years ago, when they were trying to defend their right to own my ancestors in this country as human property, they didn't have no problem going back to that Old Testament.
Yeah, they use Old Testament as well
to justify it.
But even in the New Testament, Lainey, when Jesus speaks to you, he tells you to follow his Father's law, which is in the Old Testament. Like I don't understand how you're doing that. You can't have the New Testament without the Old Testament.
The Old Testament. Like, Lainey, do you accept the 10 Commandments?
yeah, I do. And
Right, that's the Old Testament.
But I'm open to this debate, but is the Old Testament not... God did stuff that he wouldn't do now. Isn't the whole thing of Jesus...
That's not true. It says God doesn't change.
No, isn't the whole thing of... Isn't Jesus is being able to get to salvation easier, right?
God doesn't change.
Not change. God is never changing and all-knowing. You cannot get around that.
The only thing that happens when Jesus comes is that the wages of sin is no longer death. That's literally it.
Yeah, and
that's all the way in Deuteronomy.
Yeah, so basically, when Jesus came, he gave up his weekend, for our sins or whatever, and now I guess we can all do whatever the hell we want as long as we say that, okay, Jesus, you died on the cross, thanks, buddy, and we're good. Is that what's going on? Well, I don't want to jump Lainey, but Lainey, you do understand how if you're gonna accept the 10 Commandments and live by those, you got to go ahead and accept the New Testament.
Yeah, and that's the point that Volcy and Kay were making. Like, if Christians will run to the Old Testament when they want to condemn somebody, but when it comes to everything else, y'all will say, well, that's the Old Testament. It's not the same.
Old Testament, and that's why I don't accept that argument, because they have no problem going to that Old Testament when they want to be high and mighty. No, I'm not accepting that argument.
But I want to give Lainey a chance to respond. Go ahead, Lainey.
I didn't, honestly, you guys make a really good point. I didn't really know about it directly quoting it in the Bible about the genocides, and completely.
So there's a bunch of things, like just for knowledge purposes, there are a lot of things in the Old Testament. Like I've said before, G-side, slavery, unalivement, infanticide, all kind of stuff. But
for
also,
example, the flooding of Noah, that was a G-side. That's a G-side. That's exact. And I'm like, and even God found out that felt there was a mistake, because after the flooding the earth, i.e. a G-side of humanity, because he regretted his creation. This is what the book says. That's what your religious book says. Then made an Ark of the Covenant because he felt that it was a mistake. So even when y'all say that God makes no mistakes, your God felt that the Ark of the flooding of the earth, quote, quote, was a mistake, and made the Ark of the Covenant. And I'm like, and when you see a rainbow, that's what it's supposed to be, the Ark of the Covenant. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah, and I don't want to jump you. Yeah, I want you to, if you're genuinely interested in these things that you didn't know, look at it. Look at the Old Testament. Look at the whole Bible, really, because it's in the New Testament too.
Yeah, I have read the Old Testament. Can you recite what you guys brought about the Old Testament again? I just
all right,
don't
sure.
remember seeing it.
Yeah, sure.
What was your...
Yeah, sure.
Just say that quickly, and then I'll get off the live. I promise.
Yeah, not a problem.
Well, one of the things that I brought up was that Christians have no problem bringing up the Old Testament into arguments when they're trying to justify their foolishness. For example, I brought up in the argument how Christians will persecute gay people by bringing up the Old Testament into arguments when they try to condemn gay people on for example, on one of the Christian churches, up up on the pulpit, the first thing they're gonna go to is Leviticus, which is in the Old Testament. When they want to try to shame women for whatever reason, whether it be clothes or whatever the situation, wherever the situation is, they have no problem going to the Old Testament when they want to target certain minority groups. They have no problem doing that. And so I have a big issue when we bring up the Old Testament and the arguments with certain with Christians. What they will do is they will move the goalposts and say, no, you don't get to bring the Old Testament into argument because Jesus came forth, so therefore we go by the New Testament. You don't have that. They don't have that same energy when we're talking about.
But I've never. But as a Christian,
I got you, Lainey. I got you, Lainey. So some of the things that you should look at is, for example, Leviticus 25:44. Which gives instructions on slavery, chattel slavery. If you read that verse, you'll see how that lines up with the transatlantic slave trade and why white Southerners during the Civil War were using the Bible to justify slavery, because it literally says in Leviticus 25:44 how to do chattel slavery. There's also Exodus 21:1-11, which gives rules on slavery as well, on how to sell your daughter.
Actually, can you put this in my DM so I can go back when I need to look at it?
Yeah, I got you.
I have to brush it through.
I got you. So Leviticus 25:44 you should look at, and Exodus 21:1-11. And there's also Samuel 15:3, which is the prophet Samuel from God commanding a genocide on the Amalekites. So slavery, genocide, grape as well. Let's see. Yeah. There's captives, brothers, grape. There's a lot of it. What I suggest you do, right? There's a creator on here called Deconstruction Zone, where he talks about this a lot. It's all about deconstructing from religion. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to believe this anymore, but don't just follow blindly. There's a lot of this that preachers know about, but they don't talk about because they all go to seminary school. You know what I'm saying? So they know about this. They just never talk about them. They'll talk about they'll get things in Psalms, Solomon, Proverbs, the New Testament, the Old Testament, come up with all of their own interpretations of it, which is cool to do. Like I can make a whole sermon on how the story of Jonah and the well is about procrastination. I can make a whole sermon about how David and Goliath is a story about defeating your goals or crushing your goals and defeating your enemies and getting over hardship, right? I can, because a hardship could be your Goliath and you are David. I could do a whole sermon about that.
Actually, when I was growing up in church, they did do that.
Exactly.
Yes.
But however, like if you read all of David's story, you'll see that he raped a woman basically because he sent he basically raped Bathsheba, essentially. Not only that, he committed genocide on the Philistines. Matter of fact, Saul only asked him for 1,000 foreskins, and he got like 1,000,000 foreskins, which is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what his issue was with the foreskin of penises, but David was obsessed with that, and he was gay. But
well, there's that. I was just about to bring that up. Yeah. Well, it makes sense for him to be obsessed with the foreskin, considering that that's what he liked.
Yeah, he was at most bisexual, at least. You know what I'm saying? So these are stories that you don't.
He was at least bi.
He was at least bi. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't even believe that. I believe he was straight up gay.
Mm-hmm.
I am hearing you guys, and thank you for giving me that. I'll look into it. Could I go back to what K? I can't read your whole name, but it starts with K.
I'm like K. It's KK Reloaded.
Okay, sorry, KK Reloaded. Could I just go back to what you said about picking and choosing when to cite the Old Testament? I didn't cite the Old Testament. You said that.
I know. That wasn't towards you. That was towards Christianity as a whole and as an institution. That was not at you directly.
Specifically evangelicals, because they love doing that.
I'm like evangelical. So that actually wasn't for you. I was bringing that up in the argument because when we were talking about the Old Testament, you were like, "Oh, well, that's the Old Testament." I'm like, no. Like, no. Because Christians like to pick and choose and that wasn't towards you directly. That was like
in general. That's what happens.
The argument, and then one towards Christianity as a whole and as a religious institution. That was not towards you as the individual, because I know you didn't bring that up in that context. I was bringing that up because to make a point that Christians do pick and choose when they want to bring up the Old Testament.
Gotcha. Right. All right. So Lainey, I do appreciate you. Drop me a follow, and we can go ahead and talk about this more. We'll show you more verses and showing about things about deconstruction. But I promise we'll go ahead and do that. All right, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome back. By the way, I'm like you're welcome back. By the way, it ain't nothing because that wasn't directed towards you. Like
you're always. Yeah, you're always welcome back. Well, we'll talk.
I'm like, because I don't want her to feel like that was an attack on her. Like, no, it wasn't.
yeah, it was no attack on you. All right, so Dark and Palp, I think your name is the person all the way at the top. Yeah, Paid. Oh, Paid, that's her name, Paid. All right, so Dark Brain and Paid, you guys are gonna be my last ones.
Paid had a lot to say towards you in the comments, Volcy.
I know, that's why he's the last one. So, all right, so Dark Brain, we're gonna go ahead and talk to you, and then Paid, we're gonna talk to you. Anyone who's in the guest box right now, come tomorrow when I go live with Black Atheist Rants, because like I don't have time right now. I gotta get off soon because my wife's coming home from doing her nails, and we're gonna go out tonight. All right, so Dark Brain, are you at least 18? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, I'm at least 18. And give you a good reason to believe in God?
Yes.
No, I can't do that because that's personal, right? Like belief. I can't give you a good reason. That's like a choice. That's the only thing I can tell you is that it's a God-given choice. Like that's where you have God-given free will to do as you choose.
Can you show what God exists first?
In books? Yeah. I'm Muslim, so I believe in the Quran, and I believe that it's perfect in its totality. So that's where I would refer to.
But just because a book says something doesn't make it true, does it?
There's many books that say things that aren't true.
Right.
I mean, if
and
you're
the
going
Quran
from
is
that
one of
point
them.
of view, that's what you believe. I can't argue with that.
Doesn't the Quran say that Muhammad split the moon in half?
That was a miracle that he did, yes.
But that didn't happen.
That's what you believe. I mean, none of us were there. It's just that's where faith comes in.
All right. So Dark Brain, if the moon was split in half, obviously, like people around the world would see that, right?
Yeah.
And no one ever has. So clearly, it's not something that happened.
They did. They saw it.
No, they didn't, because no one else saw. No one else saw this. Like the Romans, the Chinese, these were people who had kept meticulous records. If the moon was split in half, people over in China would have seen the moon split in half, and this has never been verified by anybody else. It's only a story in the Quran. So how can we take that to be true?
That's why I said you just have to believe. I wasn't there for all of history. I just have to simply believe.
Right.
That's
but
it.
If it's unverifiable, why would you believe it?
That's where faith comes in. It's literally just faith. That's it.
All right. So, but you were here for the conversation when we talked about faith already, right? How faith is not reliable.
Faith is something you can't quite see. It's not based in science. Like we're looking for physical, like actual, like materialized things that I would have to now physically prove to you that this is real. That's not what religion or God is about. It's something beyond that.
Understood. But what I'm saying is that faith, you understand how when I say that faith is unreliable, correct?
No.
You don't understand when I say faith is unreliable?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is the sun sitting on top of a person with an eagle for a head?
You mean as in like Ra? Like the sun god?
Yeah, the sun is the sun right now sitting on top of a person with an eagle for a head. Is that what's going on with the sun?
In a drawing?
No. I'm asking you right now. Is the sun sitting on top of a person with an eagle for a head? No. The Egyptians had faith that it was, though. Do you see how the problem there?
I mean, we understand that it's in space.
Right. But do you see the problem there? The Egyptians had faith, or the ancient Egyptians actually had faith, that the sun was sitting on top of Amun-Ra, some dude with an eagle for a head, and he was sitting up in his bed every day. And that's why the sun came up. But that's wrong. So faith is not a good way for us to know what the truth is.
Faith and like belief and knowing something are like two different things. Like we know 2 + 2 is 4, but then like faith is next level. It's like, do you believe that 2 + 2 is 4? That's really just what it is. And belief and knowing are two different things.
Right, but
we
that's
would be
his point. That's
yeah,
his
no,
point.
I know, but like sometimes you can know something, but then you don't even believe in what you know. And the question, because I've had this like debate with my uncle.
That's not. I don't
Like,
know what you mean by that.
I understand. No, I hear you. His argument was that I don't know that my mother is my mother because I wasn't technically cognate when I was born, but I know that 2 + 2 is 4. He's a mathematician, but I argued that knowing your mother is not really where it's at. It's in belief. You can simply only just believe what she's told you your whole life.
Because you can see, listen, you can literally do DNA tests, right? There are multiple ways to
But DNA
verify
test is
that
not even
you're
100%.
dark. Hold on. There are multiple ways to prove that your mother is your mother. And you're again proving his point. He's only asking, is faith a reliable way to get to the truth? And it's not. You can have faith in whatever you want to, but that's not a reliable source to say that something is true and a objective fact.
Right. And you know your mother is your mother, not only through DNA, but she gave birth to you. Unless you like think that she's just lying about it.
I mean, sometimes that is the case. Some people don't know they're adopted at birth, so they don't know. They only believe in what was told to them.
That's why there's DNA tests.
Right. That's how they find out.
That was his argument. But my thing, even in science will tell you that it's 97% at best. And what we're looking for as humans, for some strange, odd reason, is perfection. We're looking for it.
So would you rather trust 97% or faith?
0%.
No, I'm saying knowing, like, even in science, like it's 97% accurate. But what we are
97% accurate is pretty close to 100.
No, it's pretty close. Close, but it's no cigar.
All right, so hold on, dark brain. First of all, that's incorrect. When it comes to DNA testing, we're at 99.99%.
But faith is 0%.
When I say 97, 99, it's all, but it's not 100% is what I'm trying to say.
I was going to say, they always say, you can watch Maury and see.
I mean, then there's been cases where fathers have been proven in court that they're 88% the father of this child and they still had to pay child support. And it was like, why not 99? It was either a brother or a cousin or a father. It was a close relation. Why couldn't we get 100%? Because even science will tell you it's not 100%.
The reason why we can't get to 100% is because our DNA is different from our parents' DNA, right? So that 0.1% is what the difference is. Like, for example, I look like my father. Anyone who sees me and my dad would know that we're related because I have his nose, I have his eyes, I have his cheekbones. So I look like my father. However, even though I look like my father, I don't look 100% like my father because my father, even though he's like 70 years old, he has hair and I don't. And not only that, my eyebrows, I took it from my mom. And not only that, some of
also, allegedly, when you don't have hair, that comes from your mother.
That comes from my mother.
Exactly. Your mother, right.
Exactly. And my mouth is the same shape as my mother's. Even though you look at my dad, you know that's my dad. You see what I'm saying? So like, even though I look like dad, I do have things that are different from him. That's still 0.1%. But if we were to take a DNA test, it'll be 99.99% that he's my dad. That 0.1 is the differences.
And I understand that all these like subjects, math, science, history, arts, these are all the subjects that helps us study and understand the world around us. But they're not 100%. That's why even as an atheist, you're still like, there's that absence. You're looking for something. You're constantly questioning. And that's something that's beyond and above us. That's where God comes in.
I think you're still missing the point, right? If I'm going to be an atheist and trust science, would I rather have the 99.9% or faith, which is 0% proven? I just choose to believe it as an objective fact.
I'd rather the 99.99%.
Which one is more reliable to get me to the truth?
to me, it's gonna be faith because it's all or nothing.
Insane, and you're lying. You're saying
and you
that because
you can't
believe in
deny
God,
that
which is
faith
fine.
has a very powerful hold on people.
It does.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. So yeah.
And
So
that,
so
to me,
Darkbrain.
even
Hold on. So
to me,
Darkbrain.
that's kind of
Hold on.
amazing.
Darkbrain. Hold on. Darkbrain.
in a
Hold on.
way.
It's
Hold on.
not amazing. It's indoctrination.
Yeah. So Darkbrain. Hold on.
I mean, everything pretty much is.
Darkbrain. Hold on. You. But the thing is, you already tacitly admitted that that faith is a bad way to get to the truth, because again, the ancient Egyptian believed in things that was 100% wrong, and so the ancient Greeks. The ancient Greeks thought that lightning came from a man sitting on top of a mountain, shooting down boats to the ground. Is lightning Zeus? No, exactly. But they 100% believed in it, and we know they did because they have whole temples to the guy. Matter of fact, we still do a ritual still today that they believed praise Zeus. The Olympic Games. The Olympic Games was all like basically a revival service to Zeus. You know what I'm saying? And we still do it today, but we know that Zeus isn't real. They set up an entire thing thousands of years later that we still do to praise a guy that we all know does not exist, but they had all faith in it. You feel what I'm saying? So when we say, this 100% proves that faith is not a reliable way for us to get to the truth.
I get what you're saying. I hear you. But my thing about faith and what it can make people do is become one. What we're looking for is oneness. And when we're undivided in whatever it is, you can build stadiums and monuments and all of these things that we can now look back in the past and see like, wow, these people were really focused. And I think that's what I really like about religion. It keeps you focused, disciplined. That's what I really like about religion.
Can
and
I have that without it?
Can
I have focus and discipline without religion?
You can have discipline, you can have focus, but something that's keeping you one, there's something keeping you focused, that oneness, something about it. That's what it is. You're looking, what I'm looking for.
What's keeping me focused is the fact that I want to help my community out. So
it's the least common denominator. That's a goodness, right? Something good, beneficial for the people. That's a least common denominator. No matter what we believe in, you're looking for this oneness. And I think that's what can help attract people to it. And that for some people, it's God. For some people, it's community. For some people, it's family. Whatever that is at your center.
Right, exactly. Really I actually don't disagree with that. I actually do agree with that, right? That could be your oneness, that could be your spirituality, that could be whatever. But like that absolutely shows that we don't need faith or religion for it.
Anything can be religion. It's whatever you do day in and day out. That is your religion. If you do BS day in and day out and the outcome is, complaints, that is your religion.
So
it depends
video
on the
games are my religion.
that you believe in. If that's your religion, you do it day in and day out, and you have you follow certain ritualistic aspects of it. That is your religion.
That's not what religion means.
Yeah, I don't think that's what religion means. Because if that's the case, me going to work because I need to make money is a religion, because I go to work.
Ultimately, it's a lifestyle.
My work is not my lifestyle. I do it because I got bills to pay. That's not a lifestyle.
To get money.
Yeah, because I got bills to pay. Money exists.
We live in a world where money.
Money is important. It's an important aspect of life. Yes, I don't deny that.
Right, but but that does make it a religion, does it? Like there are people, you can say.
I mean, some people who worship money.
Right, yes. I understand. Right, yeah, I was gonna get there. There are people who worship money. I get it.
Religion, it's dumb to worship money.
Yeah. There are people who put money overall, right? I get that, which is why I got issue with capitalism, because that's what capitalism does. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to if you're gonna say that anything you do ritualistically or anything that you do routinely is a religion, that's kind of silly. Because like I go to work Monday through Friday, that's suddenly my religion now. I don't worship my boss. Like that's kind of silly.
Then look for the least common denominator, something that's consistent, that you do all the time, every time,
like
without
brushing your teeth in the morning.
That's not a religion. You don't do that every second of the day.
No, but you do it every morning.
It's part of your rituals.
Right, but it's not a religion. I don't worship tooth decay. I'm not worshiping the tooth fairy.
It all depends on what is important to you as your center. That is your God. So that's why you'll have people
I don't agree with that.
You'll have some people
Yeah, I
who
don't agree with
worship
that.
who worship money and will do anything for money, right? We have people who've murdered, who've raped, who've pillaged, who've done all these
you
things
gotta say
in the name of money.
Alive on this and great because
Because TikTok be funny.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
All good. Just TikTok be funny. TikTok be funny. So it's all good.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to say. Yeah, just all those things you said, but that's their center. That's what they do it for, right? Like as a Muslim, we consider ourselves to be servant slaves of Allah, like because everything we do is for Him. So whatever you do, we're all a slave to something. You have to have a center. You have to have something you wake up in the morning, you do it for.
Here's the thing, Dark. Here's the thing, Dark Brain. Like I agree with you in principle. All of us wake up for something, right? We all wake up for a reason to go out and do things. Like we all have some sort of motivation. Otherwise, we all will just be sitting back, even if the motivation is to just remain alive. Like that's the motivation. I just want to keep on living. I don't care about nothing else. I just want to keep on living. You know what I mean? Even if that's the motivation, yeah, sure. All of us have that. I think what we're disagreeing on is that because you have that motivation, suddenly that's your religion. That's what I would disagree with.
I can see that because I could see that, but it's all a choice. But yeah, that was just really my thing. Yeah.
All right, I got you. All right, so Darburn, I do appreciate you, but we are just out of time. But come on back anytime soon. All right. So anyone who's in the guest request, I do apologize. I have to get off. Paid is gonna be my last guest, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Please come tomorrow, all right? Because tomorrow
this is about to be interesting.
Yeah, it's about to be interesting. All right, so everybody who's there, Moral, King David, R. Smith, Off Grid, and Zonomus, I do apologize that I missed you guys, but I'm not gonna be taking y'all tonight. Please come tomorrow. I'll be on with Black Atheist Rants when we talk about why Black people should not be Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite. So y'all come tomorrow. Just drop me a follow so y'all can go ahead and come back tomorrow. Okay. I do apologize that I didn't get to y'all today. Will it be on your
platform? Because if so, I can mod that.
Yeah, it'll be on mine. All right. So it's because I'm going to be using the computer for that one. All right. So Paid, it is your time to shine. You are my last guest. I know that you wanted to tell us a good reason to believe in a God. My only question is, are you at least
so welcome to the moderation game.
Yeah, Ariel's moderation.
You know, I'm seasoned. I'll be on everybody. Live.
All right. So we're gonna do a special one for what's his name, for Paid. I'm gonna put you on for 20 minutes. All right, because for the first 10 minutes you'll talk to me, and the next 10 minutes you'll talk to Kay and Ariel. Sound fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Great. All right. So, what's a good reason for us to believe in a God?
Can you give me a good reason to believe in your God? My God, my first off the top reasons to believe in him is he's kind, he's just, and he's forgiving. And not only just kind, just, and forgiving, but the most that you can possibly not fathom of being kind, just, and forgiving, and loving.
Cool. All right, cool. So am I. So you. All right, cool. So am I. So you should worship me.
But you're not those things, though. Did you hear what I said? Unfathomably.
Yes, I am. I'm unfathomably kind, just. No, I'm unfathomable. No, I'm not mortal. I'm not mortal. I'm actually a God. I'm not mortal. I'm actually a God. So paid. Hold on. I don't think you actually paid. Slow down. I don't think you understand what I'm actually doing, right? Because the only thing that you said was that the good reason to believe in a God is because this God that I defined exists. I can do the exact same thing for myself. I'm an unfathomable God. I just limited myself for your human understanding to see me. Are you gonna believe me because I said so?
Oh, you didn't say in the prompt, does he exist? You said, give me a
right. So paid. Listen to my question. So I can simply say the exact thing that you're saying and apply it to myself, but you're not going to believe it just because I said so. So why should I believe you about this God that you say exists just because you say so?
There's proof that he exists.
What is that? Great. What is it?
The Great Flood. There's proof of the Great Flood on this earth. There's barnacles
such as
on the top of the peak of every mountain, there's barnacles that have
Do you
been
know about?
found within rocks of
Okay, cool.
creatures that can only
Okay, Pop.
last
Okay,
in the
Pop.
water.
Pop. Do you know about plate tectonics?
Yes, that was caused by the Great Flood.
There you
Yes.
go. Okay, no, plate tectonics were not caused by the Great Flood. Plate tectonics always existed. As far as Earth was.
What caused plate tectonics?
Plate tectonics were plate tectonics are basically how the Earth formed, right? Because the Earth has a core, and because the core moves around, that means the crust of the Earth is also going to move around. That's what plate tectonics are.
Okay.
Right. So none of this has anything to do with the flood. When was the flood supposed to happen?
The flood happened in the Bible. It's recorded.
Right. When in history?
The Old Testament.
Right. I'm talking about in history. I'm talking about in history when it happened. 2,000 years ago.
No, you said
5,000.
evidence.
Hold on. Paid. Listen.
There's
Did
no,
the flood? Paid. Listen. Hold on. Paid. Hold on. Stop. Paid. Stop. Did it happen 5,000 years ago? 6,000 years ago? When?
I don't have an exact time on that.
So how do you know it happened?
Because of the barnacles that were found on the top of
But
the ocean.
but you know about plate tectonics. Plate tectonics are tectonic plates. Hold on, listen. Plate tectonics are because mountains. That's how mountains form, right? Two plates come together and they form a mountain. That's what all mountain chains are. They're just two plates crashing together and forming a mountain. That's all that happens. So because that happens, there used to be tectonic plates that were underwater, right? And because they were underwater and they're all moving and stuff like that, they come together like this and they form a mountain. That's where it comes from. Like a flood, it doesn't explain that. If a flood happened, we would see sedimentary like layers all in the same space on Earth, but we don't see that.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
That's what I'm telling you. On every mountain,
that's plate tectonics, bro.
Listen to proof though. Like,
but you're not giving me proof. I've already refuted. Hold on. Hey, I've already refuted that. I've already refuted that. Hold on. No. I've already refuted that. Plate tectonics explained that, not the flood.
Oh, okay. But if every mountain, right? So at one point in time, you're telling me that every mountain was underwater. That's what you're telling me. If there's those creatures found on the top of those mountains, they were underwater at one point. The mountains were underwater.
Right. On top of those, on top of those specific mountains,
the tallest one.
I'm answering you. On top of those specific mountains, yeah, those were underwater. But when we're talking about like not all mountain ranges were underwater at one point. But there are specific ones, the one that you're talking about, yes, those used to be underwater. And the plates, when the plates move from underwater, when they crash into the into other land, they form mountains. That happens all the time. That's plate tectonics. You can't say that all of a sudden that's because of the flood, because we have no other evidence of the flood. Plate tectonics move at 5 centimeters a year. So if you're gonna say that that the flood created mountain chains, you would have to show within geographical evidence that these mountains were formed very rapidly, and there's no evidence of that. Same with volcanoes, like how Ariel said. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Paige.
Okay, so you said that it's on the highest mountain that was found. So that was proven because of the tectonic plate that moved. Okay, so if the tectonic plates moved, they were all one at one point, right?
No,
they were all always in pieces.
They were always in pieces.
Okay, and the water just covered the highest mountain on one aspect. When they collided, that's when they made the highest mountain, and that's how the barnacle got on top of there.
Right. Correct.
Right.
If your claim, I'm not saying there were no
mountains, no valleys.
That's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so those mountains that were there, they have the the creatures on top of them as well that survive underwater. So
No, they don't.
they were, yes, they do.
No.
So they were. Let me finish.
Paid. I don't think you understood what I said.
I'm talking to him. I'm not talking to
I
moderator.
understand. I wasn't really talking to you. I was going to tell Volcy that's the issue he's running into, because I heard him say all mountains have these fossils on the top.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. There's only on particular mountains, Paid. They're not all mountains. Not all mountains have those things on top. That's not what I said. So all mountains do not have those barnacles on top. It's not all mountains. It's only particular ones, and we know those particular ones used to be underwater because surprisingly, those things are a few kilometers away from bodies of water, like the Himalayas. So if your claim, the
Red Sea.
Hold on, wait. I just want to finish this. I just want to finish this. Hold on. So
what is about that?
Hold on, listen. I just want to finish this.
In the Red Sea.
So Paid, hold on, bro. Jesus Christ. Paid. You need to learn how to be an adult, bro. When I'm talking, please listen for a second. I just want to finish a point real quick. Stop interrupting. So when it comes to the mountains, right? In order for your claim to be correct, that the mountains were formed through the flood, we would have to see rapid formation of these mountains. We'll have to go into the geological timescale to see when these mountains formed, and then see if there's evidence of rapid formation. And we don't have that. So if we don't have that type of rapid formation, that means that saying that mountains are evidence of a flood is incorrect, because they do not form rapidly. That's the first thing. Your second claim was going to be about the Red Sea chariots. How much you want to bet that if I Google Red Sea chariots right now, it will say that you're wrong? How much you want to bet? $50? $100? Cash App's in the bio. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
So how is this a debate if I'm not allowed to speak, if you're just gonna jump to the mute button?
Paid. You're allowed to speak, but when I was speaking and I was trying to make a point, you just kept on interrupting with something else. That's not how debates work. I'm trying to make a point about. I was trying to make a point about something else. And you just kept on trying to move on and say something else about the chariots. All right, we weren't done with what I said yet.
I'll give you that.
Got you.
Since
all right,
that's your explanation for your.
All right, got you. All right. So when it comes to the chariots, when it comes to the Red Sea chariots, how much you want to bet if I Google this and found that there was no chariots found under the Red Sea, it would say that I'm right and you're wrong? How much you want to bet?
Yeah, that's what Google would say, because AI is parts of Satan.
AI is parts of Satan.
AI is parts of Satan.
All right. So what is the evidence? So what is the evidence? Which where's our evidence? All right.
The chariots and the wheels were found. So Noah's Ark.
If I look this up, right? If I look this up and it says that it's incorrect, okay,
That's why you got muted.
That's why you got muted, bro. That's why you got muted. All right. So, Paid, I'm going to look it up. Paid, I'm going to look it up. I'm asking you.
Stay on mute.
I'm asking you, Paid. I'm asking you for your source, Paid. I'm just asking you for your source.
Homosexuality.
Paid. I'm asking you for your source, dude. That's all I'm doing. Paid. Calm down, bro. Chill out. Paid. Calm down and chill out, bro. I'm just asking you for your source. Stop, bro. Paid. Stop coming off mute. Paid. Stop coming off mute. Listen, bro. Listen for a second.
Okay, now you're gonna send the comments, because I told you to stop coming off of mute. And since you can't follow direction, you gonna say in the comments.
Jesus Christ.
Now Volcy gonna go be with his wife in the future.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. All right, y'all. Yeah, because I just saw the notification that she paid for her nails. So she's on her way home. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man, because it's like, bro, I'm just trying to ask Buddy a question. Holy shit. All right, guys.
Trying to ask him a question, and he wanted to do the most. Like, no, Ariel and I have said on numerous cases, don't object, do not interrupt the host or a mod. That is why we're mod, and that's why I used my goddess power. Mute. Now I'm the goddess. I'm the goddess of the mute button. Yes.
All right, y'all. We got to 40K.
The goddess KK got your tongue.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. W for 40 for the 40K, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I Appreciate y'all so much.
Now pray to me.
I appreciate y'all so much. W for the 40K. Shout out to everybody who was watching me on my Volcy Thought stream. We did hit a milestone on the views there. I appreciate that. We got about 300 views over on the Volcy Thought stream. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all so much. Thank you to Drew
Ariel,
who
what you
came
talking
through.
about in the comments?
Yeah, it's somebody
No,
else.
I was talking about the lights. Next time we
Yeah.
gonna do better than 40K.
Like I'm like I feel like we need to get to 60K next time.
Yeah, next time we're gonna get to 60K.
So tomorrow we're gonna work on getting you the 60K, Volcy.
Definitely. Let me just finish out this. All right, y'all. So shout out everybody who's watching me on the Volcy Thoughts channel. You guys are amazing. We got a milestone of 300 views on there. I'm still trying to build that up. Over on the Deconstruction Junction, we hit 5,600 views. That is amazing. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Speaking of the deconstruction, how is it like? Because you sent me the thing earlier, but every time I tried to accept the invitation for the Black Atheist, no, that was the Black Atheist Coalition. Every time I try to accept the invite,
it says that it's suspended for you. I don't know. I have no clue. You have to go to Google for it because I'm not really sure. All right. We do have a super chat. One of my own super chats here. It says from James. It says here, I really appreciate you guys kicking callers who can't pause to listen. Yeah. Yeah, we always do that. Thank you so much, James, for the $5 over on the Deconstruction Junction. I appreciate that. You got you're amazing as well. We hit 5,700 views over on Deconstruction Junction. I appreciate that. Over on Deconstruction Junction, my YouTube is Volcy Thoughts. Remember to subscribe to that as well. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the comments as well, so you guys can keep talking about it. Y'all are amazing. Y'all amazing over on my Volcy Thoughts channel as well.
I saw you in the invite. Come tomorrow because Volcy's about to go.
Yeah, I'm about to go. So everybody who's in the invites right now, I'm about to go. You guys, we'll go ahead and talk tomorrow. All right. Especially the guy with the cross. Go ahead and follow me. We'll go ahead and talk tomorrow. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Ariel, let them know where to find you.
Y'all can find me on Sundays. I do a podcast with two of my other friends. For the record, we talk about hot topics, news. We play music specific to the culture. It's a really good time. It's just a hangout. I know a lot of us do deconstruction all week, and so Sunday we kind of just try to. And it's after Volcy and Bar. So even if you go in there and get a little worked up, then when you come over to us, we kind of just chill out and get ready for the new week. And I was going to tell you, Volcy, to message me about what you were saying about the YouTube thing. Message me so I can tell the girls and we can get it set up.
Yes,
oh, yeah,
I'm like Ariel. So basically, Volcy has a YouTube channel for Black atheists to make content on there.
Yeah.
So it's called the Black Atheist Coalition YouTube page, and Volcy had sent me an invite, but to my Gmail, for me to accept to be, so I could start making content on there.
Yeah.
When I went to accept the invite, it said that the invite had been suspended every time.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. It's weird. I don't know why. So okay, what I'm gonna say, go ahead and decline it, and I'm gonna send it again. See if that works. I'm not sure why it's not working now, but we'll go ahead and try it again. All right.
Yeah,
also,
just send it to me
do you know where
tell the girls.
Reggie been?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a couple of days.
Because I was wondering, I'm I haven't seen him go live.
He's posted some videos though, he's fine. I just haven't seen him.
No, I know he posted videos. I just wonder where his lives have been. I'm
yeah.
I know he'd be going live typically at 9 and stuff.
Yeah, but it's all good. That's all good. All right, guys. I do gotta get out of here. I'm gonna say peace out. Ariel, let them know, you let them know where they can find you. Kay, let them know where they can find you as well.
I'm here on several TikTok pages. Anywhere where it says KK Reloaded, in this, it would be 2, 3, and 4. I think KK Reloaded. You can find. Those are the pages you can find me on here. You'll see me here in Volcy Thoughts as a moderator. Sometimes you'll see me on Godless Reggie's page where I'll be joining the conversation over there. You'll be seeing me tomorrow on Bar and Volcy and Bar's conversation. I'll be moderating that. And as soon as we can figure out, you will be able to find me at the Black Atheist Coalition on YouTube.
Exactly. All right, guys. And Ariel, I'm gonna send that to you as well. I'm gonna send you an invite. I just need your email. So send me your email, and I'm gonna send you the invite. All right, Ariel.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Because Christina Carroll also has it. She also has it, but I don't think she knows that she has it. So, but she also has
okay.
it.
Yeah.
But I'll send it to you as well, so you all can go live on that channel and everything. But y'all, I do appreciate y'all for everybody being here. Paid, you ain't cook nothing. All right, so you can go ahead.
I'm like you didn't even set the grill.
Yeah,
so I don't know what you talk about. You cooking? You didn't cook. You didn't fry. You didn't eat.
Exactly. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. Big hearts to everybody. Thank you for letting me hit my goal. Thank you for letting me hit the milestone over on the Deconstruction Junction for 5,800 views. I really appreciate that. Over on Volcy Thoughts, y'all helped me hit about 400 views. I really appreciate that. Y'all wonderful. Y'all amazing. Remember, y'all, to stay smart, stay observant. Remember that you are a fallible person, but always be thoughtful, okay? That means to be soft. That is my thing, and I appreciate y'all. That is